Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from Philly. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, swings down the sideline, throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good! Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
But it's second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown.
San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
I forgot to add Tony. Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boys, Mike and Tony from the Nothing But Niners. I was almost ready. I almost had it down to pat, Tony, man. I was trying so hard to get it 100% right, man. But I'm going through some things, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Oh, shit. What just happened? I'm glad I had pants on today. That could have been bad. All right, what's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from Nothing But Niners crew. Me and Tony are back to bring you guys another fun-filled episode. This episode is going to be it has the potential to be a long one. We got a couple of things to talk about. The Niners are out at OTAs. We got a couple of topics to discuss before we get to the pressers. I want to try to get to the pressers. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them. The shit was like an hour long, and I saw a lot of people. Man, it was Dre Greenlaw. I saw Colt McKivitz. Nick Bosa, Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the whole gang was there today. So we do have a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to react to. But before we do, let me run through some formalities really quick. Going across the bottom of the screen are going to be your first instructions for today, all right? If this is your first time here and you guys enjoy the show, please hit a like on this video, all right? Give this video a thumbs up so that way other people can find what you just liked, all right? Then subscribe to the channel. And then turning your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. We want to ask you guys to give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We're going to start with Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. That's spelled all the way out. All right. Give us a follow on Snapchat and X. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. All right. Nothing But 9 ERS. That is on Snapchat and X. And then head on over to the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. The Patreon community is always holding us down. Don't be the last one to join and become a Patreonian of the Nothing But Niner community. That's what I call my Patreon subscribers. I call them Patreonians. Patreonians. So, Tony, what's going on with you, big dog? How you feeling, man? What's up with you?
Good, man. Just hanging around. Getting ready to go back to work soon. That's it.
What? Wait. Hold on now. Really?
Yeah, June 4th, I'm going back.
Oh, let's go, man. Make some noise for that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, June 4th, I'm coming back. It's kind of against the doctor's orders, but I have to go back. I had enough. He read me the rights, though. He goes, I'm telling you now. He goes, you better be careful because you'll be right back here, and you'll be out for another 6 to 9 months. So yeah, you got to be smart about everything, Tony. Some risks aren't worth the reward, but I'm sure they'll find something for you to do that isn't going to overextend you in any way. So yeah, so it sucks. But.
And by the way, in case anybody from his job is watching, his doctor's all on board with him returning to work. That was a joke.
No, they're not watching.
All right. Yeah, I'm just making sure. All right, that was a joke. The opinions expressed by Nothing But Niners and their co-hosts are just opinions and entertainment. Nothing they say should be taken seriously or used in the court of law. All right, that's our little disclaimer.
Signed already, Mike. It's done.
All right, man. I got to make sure, man. I got to protect my guy. All right, I got to protect my guy. But oh shit, what is happening, man? This camera is doing whatever it wants, and this is crazy because I gotta use this camera tomorrow for my aunt's funeral. So I don't I don't know why. It's got it crooked now. What just?
Look, when you got up before, it like moved.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, so I think it's like on like the motion.
The tracking thing. And now my picture looks crooked behind me. It's going to drive me crazy, Tony. All right, let's go ahead and get to some of this stuff, man. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize about that. Ignore the line behind. I can't ignore that much longer. I have to fix that. This side has to come down over here. This side has to go up. I will fix that. You guys give me a second. All right, Tony, we have some things to talk about, man. The 49ers, They are back at OTAs. We got some clips of Mike Evans catching passes from Brock Purdy yesterday. I'm not going to play that. It was just no pads or anything like that. But Tony, how are you feeling, man? We'll get to some things in particular. I got a whole list of items and topics to discuss here. But OTA practice have taken place. And what are your thoughts? What are your feelings around this team and the roster right now, Tony?
Listen, they still need to make a couple moves, add a couple pieces here and there. But overall, everyone was in attendance except for Trent Williams, who was handling personal stuff. He'll be at the next set of OTAs, which I think is next week.
Mike Evans wasn't there today because of
Mike Evans was there yesterday, but then he had to fly back to Texas for something, which, listen, it's totally understandable. So people have issues. Stuff comes up. He was there. He's been working out with the team at the facility. He went through the practice yesterday. I swear to God, I think the team just messes with certain people in the media, with stuff like that, because it's I don't know, but it's kind of.
Who do you think they were messing with, Tony?
I'm not saying nothing.
I'll get you to slip up later. It's okay. You dodged that. No. I'll get you later.
But I mean, listen, I'm happy right now because a lot of the issues that we were concerned about after that Seattle debacle and the divisional round, they came out and saw that their flaws and addressed the majority of them. One position group, it wasn't up to the standards to some 49er fans and content creators and stuff like that. But when you're telling me you brought in 5 offensive linemen this year to compete with your 5 starters, you're bringing people in. It's just not the names that you want. So, you got to take it as you will. But, there's still a little question with tight end, another potential pass rusher, because you don't know the status of Mikael Williams. We know where Nick Bosa is. But, it's positive. I'm excited. The season's coming. I mean, the season's close. Training camp's close, sorry. And, it's going to be another year.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited about the OTAs, if I'm being honest with you, just because that literally means that football is back. You know what I mean? It's real, it's official, and we're getting closer and closer. There was some news from OTAs. There's already an injury, so I guess we can go ahead and just start with this. Running back Isaac Guerendo tore his pec.
Yeah.
He tore his pec, and the 49ers have made a corresponding move. They have signed 2 running backs, which I thought was odd. I thought that was odd. They signed 2 running backs. They released 1 running back. So that's why they signed the 2. They knew they were going to release the 1 guy. And then there was some other news with a safety also. What happened there?
I thought they signed 1 and moved on from 2. They got rid of McCormick. And they signed the kid. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Mims.
They signed Mims. They moved on from McCormick.
Jordan Mims and Jamar Jefferson were the 2 running backs that were signed.
Oh, they signed him too?
Yes, they signed Jamar Jefferson also.
I didn't see that. But all right,
then
so
they waived Sincere McCormick.
Yeah, McCormick is gone, and then they put the 1 kid on IR, right? The safety Canteen or something.
Okay, that's okay. IR. Okay, gotcha.
So I don't know much about these 2 backs. I only thought they signed 1. I didn't know they signed 2. But obviously with him down,
Derek Forrest was the one.
Oh, Forrest. With him down, you need another body in there. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's not going to get the full brunt of the load in training camp, so you need legs out there. But speaking of the running backs, a lot of positivity that I read for Jerome James. Not Jerome. Is it Jerome James? James, the kid from the running back from Oregon last year, and Black. Jordan James. I always get that name confused because Jerome James was the guy the Knicks signed from Seattle that was supposed to be the next Patrick Ewing. He was a bum. But that's why Jerome James, I get him confused. But a lot of positive from those two guys, Black and James, which is encouraging, right? Because I honestly, in my opinion, I think the 49ers are trying to set the future up at the running back position because, like, Chris McCaffrey maybe has a year, maybe two left in him by details of his contract. So before McCaffrey was here, it was a 1-2 punch. And I think Kyle might go back to the 1-2 punch until he finds another Christian McCaffrey type runner where you have this guy that could do both facets of the game as far as the running back on the offensive side of the ball, as a pass catcher, as a run block, as a pass blocker, and a running back carrying the ball. So it's interesting. There's still going to be more moves, I think. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a living, breathing thing, and the Niners have to make sure that they have enough bodies to get through this time of the season. So they'll rotate guys in and out. And here's one thing that I'm excited about. I like them moving on from people this early because to me, and I don't know anything about McCormick or anything like that, to get released this early for a different running back speaks to either your work ethic or something that you don't do that they thought you could do. And they're not going to waste time with any kind of fit or plug, especially with the running back position. I'm excited to see them move on from somebody so early because the Niners run those running backs into the ground during preseason games and joint practices. They literally just use those guys because they don't want to hurt wide receivers. They don't want to hurt tight ends and all that stuff. They want the ball in their hands as much as possible. And so this also tells me that they're truly evaluating these guys. They're not just bodies. It speaks to, hey, you're potentially not just here to go through the motions. Isaac Guerendo goes down and he gets hurt. All right, we got to bring in somebody else. All right, McCormick, you're not doing something that we thought or wanted you to do. We've seen enough. We're going to bring somebody else in. All right. Thank you for your time. Stay on standby in case there's an injury. We'll bring you back. But you know how those conversations go. Yeah. So I do like that already. I never like seeing anybody lose their job, but hopefully he lands somewhere else and he can get a nod somewhere else. I kind of bypassed this Mike Evans thing really quick because I said I wasn't going to show the clip. But Tony, I did want to ask you. There's this like conversation that they had. Because we haven't discussed anything since the last show we did, and you decided to take a nap on the air. But there's like talk about how Brock Purdy and Mike Evans have had these conversations, and they're kind of like challenging each other in a positive way about the offense and all. What are your takeaways from that? Do you think that means anything, or is this just like we're starving for news, and so we just wanted to talk about something? Because at that point we didn't have much to talk about.
I think it's positive, right? Your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, and your top free agent acquisition. Well, not your top free agent acquisition, but the biggest name free agent acquisition this year for this team, and Mike Evans. Clearly, his background and his career in the NFL speaks for itself. Super Bowl winner, consecutive years with 1,000 yards plus. I think it was 11 or 12. I think. But it's good because I kind of feel like it's bringing the best out of Purdy mentally, and I think Purdy also is trying to see what type of receiver he is, how he sees things, and it just makes it better where it's an in-game experience, and it's a read system. So when Brock Purdy draws back, some of these guys' responsibility is to see how the defense aligns and covers them. So if the corner's sitting back or the safety goes from too high to a split, from a split safety to a single high, then does he break it over the middle? I don't know their keys and their responsibilities per a situation with Kyle Shanahan's office because it's so entailed, but it's good that they're talking about it. They're hashing it out now. If you see this, let's do this. It's good. It's positive.
Yeah. So the quote that everyone jumped on was, this spring, Purdy asked Evans about a specific route he ran with the Buccaneers that resembled a concept in the 49ers playbook. Evans explained the route wasn't in Tampa Bay's playbook. Brady and Evans had an understanding that Evans could alter his route based on how the secondary was aligned. He's like, actually, it's not that concept, Purdy said. I had a choice to go around the defensive back a certain way, and Tom knew to put the ball there. And that's something that we talked about and worked through. I'm like, oh, shoot. So that's stuff that we're going to have to talk through and work through. I know that last part seemed confusing, but they were quoting Purdy, who was quoting Mike, and then going back to Purdy. So the conversation didn't really flow as I read it, but I promise you guys I read that the right way. So you know what I mean? So they're obviously watching film of Mike Evans. Purdy sees something and says, hey, like, this is kind of like the concept we didn't. Mike's like, no, it had nothing to do with the concept. This is an understanding that I had with my quarterback. If this guy aligns this way, I'm going to do this instead. It's an in-play audible, right? And one of my biggest things about Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, specifically how he handles his quarterbacks, is that I don't feel like we audible. I feel like there's two plays in every play call, and it's one or the other, and that's it. This, to me, is an audible. This is not the play. This is not the play design. This is something between the players, the chemistry that they feel, and this excites me. The fact that Purdy ends it with, oh, shoot, so that's stuff that we're going to have to talk through and work through. Now, is Purdy saying that they're going to talk and work through, you can't do that here because the system doesn't work like that? Or are they going to try to implement that kind of relationship between the receiver and the quarterback? How did you take that?
I mean, I think first of all, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of these because I was, hanging out with Ant. But what
this
I will
isn't from
say
today, by the way. This is old. This isn't from today. No.
So the way I take it is, I think it's a little bit of both because of Shanahan's system and being in the timing of being in the window when it's open is crucial. But on the other hand, is if it's one of those option routes and they say this, they see this, and they want that, I think that's a major positive to be hashing that out now. And to be honest with you, it's something that this team has not had from that position group in a very long time. I personally don't think any of the receivers under Shanahan, maybe Pierre Garçon, was that type of wide receiver with the veteran, like such veteran experience and leadership, and as the number one option for a team, a Super Bowl winning team, and a standout career.
Damn, that's a good point.
I think it's crucial, and I think, listen to me. We all know Mike Evans is not the Mike Evans he was 5 years ago, without a doubt. Obviously, you get older with age, things happen, you slow down a little bit. It is what it is. But that veteran experience and that leadership, just that alone, and I compare it to bringing Dre Greenlaw back. We all know Dre Greenlaw is going to miss games, but that intensity that's going to be on that field when he's on the field, or even when he's on the sideline, when they come out for that pregame warm up and they do that clap, this group, this linebacker, this defense, it's back. Like, the tone setting is back on the defensive side of the ball. That's the Greenlaw free agency edition, and now the veteran experience from Mike Evans is going to help this offense take that next step, whether it's just X and O's on a whiteboard, a film study, or actually in a crucial situation on the field in game. So I think it's a win-win. I mean, he's not, what he was. We'll be clear with that. But to have that type of wide receiver, experienced wide receiver in your locker room with this group, and what some believe the window is still open, slightly open to make a push with the veterans that they already have on this team, I think personally it's a massive upgrade to this offense. It's only going to help it. And then you get people breaking it down. Like Dante Whitner is on his thing now with Mike Evans. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You're positive. You think the positive side of it, and then you have the negativity come from the others. So
wait, what did he say? I'm not aware. So let me put this disclaimer out, guys. I stopped watching other people's podcasts. I don't want to be influenced by their thoughts because you hear it, you think about it, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that, and then you end up echoing those same sentiments. I like bringing everybody original thoughts, so I don't watch anybody else's podcast anymore. So that's
basically,
why
Whitner said clearly Evans is not the player he was, which
he says clearly, like he saw something.
Yeah, he said he did some film study on him. He said usually his separations at 2.5 yards, he's down to 1.9. I don't know, but
okay,
it's listen. I'm not going to say it.
All right. No, that's fine. I get you. I'm not going to put you in a tough spot there. Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Mike Evans is getting older. Let's be clear here. Also, Mike Evans got less separation last year because Godwin was out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And then the other kid, Egbuka, isn't that who they have also? Was in and out of the lineup as well. Mike was hurt. So, he's playing hurt. He's going to lose a step after an injury. So, yes, that's not indicative of who he is for sure. Like, while we all think that Mike Evans is old, when I think Mike Evans is old, I think Mike Evans is my age. He's not my age. You know what I'm saying? Mike Evans is not our age, so he's got plenty of pep left in his step, and he can come in and contribute in a major way. If you guys were looking for Mike Evans to be this burner, deep downfield guy, I feel like you haven't been watching Mike Evans' career because that's not who he is. That's not who he is.
He's not a burner, no, but he's big because of his height. He is a threat down the field because of the jump ball, and he's very good.
Yes.
So that's where I think people see the deep threat, but when they talk about the deep threat, they push it as like he's going to take the top off the defense.
And
he's
that's not what it is.
You have to respect him. So you might have to roll a safety on the deep, on the deep half of the coverage, like the over the top coverage on him to high point to prevent him from high pointing the ball, because that's what he made his production off of in the majority of his career. So with that being said, everyone has their opinions on it, and everyone, it's cool. Like I'm not, but you have to understand this signing. It's not Mike Evans isn't the focal point. Mike Evans is not the focal point of this offense. Mike Evans is a piece to make this offense become more open. So with that being said, running lanes will be open because you can't stack the box, because Mike Evans will get behind you in that zone between your second and third level of your defense. Or he could run a deep route, a post route, a corner route, or a go route, or a comeback on the sideline, where you do have to respect it because it still is Mike Evans. Until he can't do it, you're going to have to respect it. And with that being said, that just opens up everything for everyone else. And then not to mention when Kittle gets back and stuff like that. And most importantly, it's going to help the offensive line with the run blocking because they're not going to sit in the box with 7 and 8 defenders.
Bingo.
Because of the pieces they added.
Right. Exactly. And, one other thing that we have to remember here, and 404 touches on it here. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments right now. I appreciate you guys. I see you guys, man. He says, oh, wait, that's not the comment I wanted from 404. Where'd it go? Here it is right here. He says, everyone around Mike is fast, right? Think about that for a second. If the most dangerous receiver on your team is the slowest receiver on your team, imagine what he's going to do for everybody else and all that speed. I think Ricky Pearsall might be the next slowest receiver on this roster. It's Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, if we're going from slowest to fastest. Now, I don't know much about the undrafted guys and the guys way down the depth, but here's what I do know. It's probably Mike Evans is the slowest, then Ricky Pearsall, then Robinson, but then after that, it's a bunch of 4-3 guys. It's like 3-4-3 guys there. All right? You're talking Stribling, you're talking Watkins, you're talking Bergen, you're talking Cowing. All of those guys are 4-3 5, 4-3-7s, 4-3-4s. All of those guys got wheels. So, I mean, that's fine. If the most dangerous receiver on the roster is the tall downfield threat and he's going to open things up and he's demanding double coverage, he's demanding safety, he's dictating safety movements, imagine what that does for all the other wide receivers. I mean, I think that's a great thing.
And 49ers Eddie made a very valid point right there at 9:49. JJ wasn't fast either. Evans will get TDs in the red zone. Now, just think about what 49ers Eddie just said. He's 100% right. But guess who's faster than Juwan Jennings and more of a polished wide receiver than Juwan Jennings? Yes, you're right. That's Mike Evans. So where Juwan Jennings was not able to win is going to be where Mike Evans will win. And because of his skill set and his ability and he is faster and a more well-polished wide receiver. And it's not a knock against Juwan Jennings. We all knew what Juwan Jennings was. He was just a physical dude, just bull you over, high point the ball, and just play his ass off, play in and play out for 4 quarters. And that's what you want. But now we're essentially getting that type of receiver who's a little bit faster, maybe not as physical as Juwan Jennings, but he's a better wide receiver than Juwan Jennings in this offense with Kyle as the play caller. Remember, he said he wanted to play for Kyle and Brock Purdy. So that tells me he can see himself have a successful year in this offense because he never would have came here if it would have jeopardized his career, right? Like to put a knock on him and say, yeah, he's done. He couldn't have a decent year there. He's done. No, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. Everything's going to be schematically done for him. And it is what it is.
I agree. All right. Quick hitter for you here. I won't go into all the other things. There's one other topic I want to get to, but I want to ask you this before we do. What position battles are you interested in? So this is the time of year, this is one of the dangers of having an open practice. You're going to have people saying, Jacob Cowing looked great today, and we saw the tweets. You know what I'm saying? This guy didn't look too good, and why is he still on the team? And this is the time of year where it's going to happen. So you don't have to name specific names if you don't want. If you want to, please feel free to. But give me a couple of position battles that you are most interested in watching. If you had to pick 2.
I'll do one. Oh man, I could do a lot.
All right, how about this? Give me 2 on each side of the ball.
All right, that's fair. 2 on each side of the ball. I'm gonna go with number 1. The left guard spot.
Okay, and what was the report today? I forgot. I did see it, and I don't remember who it was.
I don't even know who got the start.
No. I'll figure it out. Go ahead.
I would say the left guard position, and this is kind of low hanging fruit, but the tight end position, the tight end rotation, what that's going to look like, and if anyone's going to be added. The defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go with the safety position at free safety. And then I'm going to go with due to the ACLs with Bosa and Mikael Williams, who's going to step up and be the starting 2 edges in the preseason?
Damn it. I swear I saw something today about the starting lineup. I know I saw it on the defensive side because we're going to get to that. But I swear I saw something that said the starting left guard today.
I think it might have been Colby.
Let me see.
I think Colby got the first go.
All right. Maybe it will. Okay. No, that's not it. Damn it, man. All right, I can't find it. I'm gonna keep looking for it. But all right. All right, here we go. Nick Bosa, Shanahan, Guerendo, Trent. Plan today. Concluded the first practice of OTAs. Offensive standouts were Cowing, Watkins, and Black. I looked up Jerry working with you. No, okay. I got it. I'll try to find it. I thought I saw it. Anyways, let's get back to the other side because you said something interesting. The Mikael Williams and Bosa being out. We saw a message today that confirmed that Romello Height was being used in an interesting way. All right. So, Tony, how about you break that down for everybody while I continue to look for this? Romello Height, we were wondering about how he was going to be used, what they were going to do with him. Are they going to put him on the edge? Is it going to be a linebacker? Is it going to be a 5-man front? I mean, the speculation was going on before he was even drafted here just because of Raheem Morris and his presence in the building. And then today, Not that we got confirmation, but the Niners are very, very smart with what they do. So what was the report that came out today, Tony?
Report came out saying that Romello Height was given the first team starting strong side linebacker opportunity to be the first team starting strong side outside linebacker. Let's take it back to draft day when he was drafted. When he went to the day after he was drafted, he went to team headquarters. He met with the media and he said something to the fact of, Raheem and I spoke about my role, and I'm just not going to comment about it right now. I thought that was very interesting. But prior to that, I was also saying that when we drafted him, we all know he's not going to be your base down defensive end in a 4-3 front. And at least your base package on first and second downs or run situations. It's the team. He's not built for that right now. In the future, could he be built with that to be that position? Maybe, sure. But what the hell is that? So with that being said, Raheem Morris wants to run 5-man fronts. And what better situation could it be when you take your third-round pick who screams off the edge as a pass rusher, but if you do your due diligence on him and watch his actual film in previous locations, and especially at Texas Tech too, you see him have the ability to drop and take the hook to flat zone, which is essentially your outside linebacker's responsibility in a zone defense. They drop hook to flat in your standard 4-3 front. But it also gives Raheem Morris full versatility to say, all right, let's go 5-man front, and you don't have to switch your personnel unless you want to go like with your more your big dogs up front with a 5-man front, and you bring in like another like nose tackle or a big physical defensive tackle, and then you just stick with your two base ends with Mikael Williams and Nick Bosa respectively. So with that being said, I think what Raheem Morris wants to do ultimately is have full flexibility. He's going to be able to run his 5-man fronts without fully converting to a 3-4 front, if that makes sense. Because essentially, just like if some people don't know, you have 3 defensive linemen and then you have 2 stand-up outside linebackers. That's what makes a 5-man front. Now, a 4-3 is if you have 4 down linemen and you slant your line one way and this guy walks up, now you have your 5-man front essentially with your top pass rushers and your top base personnel in, where it's not going to do anything as far as the run game. Favorable situation, everyone gets one-on-one matchups when you have a 5-man front. But it could also throw the offensive a curveball, because now you don't know if all 5 are coming or who's dropping. So now that's where it gets tricky. And then when you drop, or if you drop 2, who's the other rusher? Who would the other rusher be along with Romello Height? Could it be Fred Warner? Could it be Dre Greenlaw? I think you're going to see a totally different looking defense this year. And how they drafted is going to told us how much of a hybrid defense he wants to run. If you look at his past record, his track history and his track record with his history with the Rams, similar situation with Brian Young. Brian Young was a defensive end. They put him as a starting strong side linebacker, and all they did was just walk him up to the line of scrimmage. Another situation with the Falcons last year where he was the head coach. He went out and took 2 pass rushers in the first round, Pierce and Javon Walker. I think the 49ers essentially have the same situation this year in Martin, who was drafted last year to play that Walker-type role, in Romello Height as a Pierce-type role. So I think you're going to get multiple looks, hybrid, very versatile. I think it's going to be a lot different than what we're used to seeing. And I think Kyle Shanahan will give Raheem more leeway because of the rapport and the trust that they have in him. So I'm excited. I think you're getting your best 11 on the field by doing this, and you're getting the most out of your defense by doing this because you're ultimately addressing your biggest issue with 20 sacks, right? And when you have Bosa, Mikel, Osa Odigizua, and whoever starts opposite him at the defensive tackle, and now you insert Romello Height, I think that improves the pass rush, in my opinion.
I want to ask this question from a point of, let's call it ignorance, just for shits and giggles, right? Did the Niners use a 5-man front when Vic Fangio was here with Alden Smith and Ahmad Brooks? Did they do that sometimes also?
Well, they were a true 3-4 front. So yes, they would be walked up
right
on the line of scrimmage. So essentially, yes, it would be a 5-more front. But now this is the kicker, and this is what people don't understand. 3-4 defenses in passing situation is a 4-3 front. Because what you're doing is you're taking your nose off the field, your 0 or 1 tech, you're sliding your 2 ends in to 3 techs, and then you're bringing your 2 outside linebackers down as your 5, 7, 9 alignments. So essentially, you're still down in a 4-man front. That's why everyone's making this big deal like, oh, they can't do this. They don't have the personnel. Bro, it's to run a true 3-4, you're right. But to have a hybrid 3-4 and then play the versatility to go to a 4-3 and keep flopping it just by literally having him 5 to 7 yards off the ball or walking him up on the line of scrimmage, I think Raheem Morris would take that and run to the bank if he could handle that role because you're not switching your personnel out.
Right. Okay. All right. Instead of me getting to the other topic I wanted to get to, Kyle Shanahan actually addresses it in his presser, so we're just going to go ahead and hit play. All right, we're going to start with the presser breakdown. The Kyle Shanahan one is the important one that I wanted us to get to. But again, we did get to hear from some really, really good players today. Nick Bosa makes his return to the podium also, so I think it's important to hear what he has to say as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. All right, Tony, whenever you want me to stop or pause something, just wave. I'll be keeping my eye on the screen. All right, and we'll break it all down accordingly. Let's get rid of the chat here. I don't need to see the chat there. All right, and let's have some fun, man. Let's see what they got to say. Wow, it worked the entire time I hit play and it buffers at 0 seconds. All right, here we go. Kyle's coming up in a second.
Bunch of explosive playmakers looking for more explosives in the pass game. What'd you think of them today at practice?
Thought they've had 2 good days. I never tried to look into it too much. I mean, we're just trying to get the guys out there, get them introduced to the offenses and stuff, and got through 2 healthy days, which is the biggest goal, and thought we were better today than yesterday.
Aside from that, what is your goal with this week of OTAs, next week of OTAs, and then the mandatory minicamp?
To not get anyone hurt and find any way to get better with everything we do. You know, there's a lot of things at this time of year that I always feel in order to get better at football, the true way, you got to practice football full speed. And we're working through a lot of that stuff right now where you learn how to do that. There's certain things with rules and things with safety that we can't fully go by. So our whole goal is to get as much out of this as we can while still protecting everyone.
You had Pearsall, Cowling, and
Ryan Miller invests the way he wants to invest.
Ryan sets his investment.
This is going to be annoying already, I can tell. And I have no idea why it's buffering so damn much. So let me refresh it and let it reload. I apologize, guys. Give me a second here. All right. I don't know why this is doing this. We're at the Pearsall Cowing question. All right.
This as we can while still protecting everyone.
you had Pearsall, Cowling, and Jordan Watkins were at it again. I mean, you last saw them really click last offseason. They all got hurt. Have you seen improvement in their game other than them just simply being healthy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ricky, we got to see throughout the year battling his injuries. Jordan and Jake, we didn't get to see quite as much of. They all came back healthy. I was really excited how Jordan and Jake came back, though. You could tell they came back. It wasn't just healthy. You could tell they've been putting work in, and coming in here in shape and stuff has allowed them to get a lot of farther ahead in these 5 weeks than just coming here to get shape. They've come here to me to play and work.
How are Bosa, Michael, and Keon White coming along from?
They're coming along. They're all in their rehab with a number of other guys. A couple of those guys will have a chance at training camp, and we'll see with Michael as it goes.
As you go about incorporating Mike Evans into the Eagles offense, what kind of unique characteristics and traits does he bring that maybe you guys didn't have?
I mean, Mike's a Hall of Fame receiver. So just, his experience of the game, what he's done in this league, just the respect he's earned, that's different than, I haven't had many guys like that except for Andre Johnson and Julio, just, with the career he's had so far. And just what's unique about Mike is his get off, how he can attack down the field. And I've never been around a guy that was that tall with that long of arms, the competitor he is. So I'm excited to have the person or offense and the talent.
Some similarities from where Sterling is coming from versus the program he's coming into. Has he seen it be able to catch on pretty quickly, or what have you seen from Sterling?
We've only been out there 2 days, but, he's done all our drills for the 2 weeks we had him in phase 2. It's been awesome in the meeting rooms, works his tail off, and it's been good to watch him in 2 practices, but that's what they're going through right now. We throw a ton of stuff at them. They usually do good the first couple of days. They usually melt the second week, and they usually come back in training camp a little bit better for it.
What have you seen from Brock Purdy after watching his film from last year and how he's approaching the season? I know it's early, but...
Like he always does. Brock always comes in here not to mess around, not to be complacent in anything. He's always expects us to be hard on him through the tape. He's one of the most fun guys to coach because he's never sensitive, and he's very deliberate in everything he does out there.
Have you
All right, here we go. Commercial free right here. Commercial free. I switched to the other account, guys.
And he's very deliberate in everything he does out there.
Have you decided, or have you worked
Where'd it go?
Oh shit! Why did it just do that?
I don't know. It just disappeared.
any at all thought about, you're going to be playing them during the season as well? Like, does that factor into?
Not really. No, it's pretty vanilla. You're not scheming and stuff and doing stuff in practice. It's just more getting guys a chance to go against a couple different things than they usually go against.
Didn't see. I know Evans was there yesterday. Didn't see him today. Is he around? Is it you're just going to kind of spot some of these veterans and some of these workers?
It's voluntary. So when they got stuff going on, Mike had some family stuff he had to deal with back in Texas, I believe. So he was here the last 2 days, but had to take out today, and expect him to get back here next week.
How come Mac Jones didn't throw?
His shoulder was a little sore today. He said he could have gone through it, but it was unnecessary, and gave a chance for other guys to get more reps.
Do you notice any sort of boost for Fred just having Dre around?
Maybe a little. I think there's a boost for everybody. Like, everyone loves Dre around. Just the way he carries himself, how into football he is, and it's really cool when I talk to the team to sit back there, see those guys shoulder to shoulder. And I've seen them like that their whole careers together, and there was 1 year off, and it's pretty cool to get him back for everybody. But yeah, Fred's excited.
You have a few new defensive linemen. Do you get a chance to look at them at all right now, even though it really isn't going until?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge about now. We look at them a ton in their individual drills and stuff, and that's what they've been working on for really 5 weeks. And these last 2 practices, we did yesterday without helmets, today with helmets, just so they don't run into each other with their teeth. but just the whole deal is nothing's full speed. So you're using your hands, things like that, which is more assignment based, is trying to give the safeties, the running backs the right look at what hole they go to, but no one's out there really competing or trying to make a play. So it's more about their conditioning and give them a chance to try to be ahead when we get to camp.
One of the talking points during the draft was that Kalon Black didn't have many catches in Indiana. What have you seen from him as far as route running and just how comfortable he looks catching passes?
I see a guy that I think can be developed in the pass game. I mean, we definitely were excited about him and the first thing we loved about him was him as a runner. But we've gotten a lot of guys here who didn't start out great in the pass game, have the skill set to do it. They just haven't worked at it that much. And I know JP was like that. I know Elijah was like that. I thought those guys got a lot better. And I see Kalen being the same way. He's got the skills.
That was a great question and answer right there. A great question and answer. Because if you're going to take a guy that high, people are immediately going to say, is this Christian McCaffrey's future replacement? And that was a big concern at the draft. This guy didn't have a lot of catches. He had a couple of fumbles throughout his career. And it's like, why? And then, so he said, we've developed pass-catching running backs before. He talked about Elijah Mitchell and JP. So, and he's talking about Mason, right? Jordan Mason? Is that who JP is?
Yeah.
So I was hoping. So I was like, what other JP is he talking about? I didn't know what the P was for, though. But, yeah, so I like that.
To do it, just needs to work at it.
You asked the veterans to come in and really take charge and be leaders throughout this whole kind of voluntary workouts. Do you have most of the guys here? Is Trent Williamson?
Yeah, Trent's the only guy who hasn't been here yet. He's coming here next week. Everyone else has been good. You guys know Mike's missing today, but everyone's been awesome. I mean, it's a little different than last year. I mean, last year we had such a mass exodus of people who had been around and carried that team for about 5 years in a row that there was only about 12, 13 specific guys I was kind of talking to. And now when I kind of talk to the leaders and kind of the makeup of our team, especially from last year and stuff, there's guys all over. I mean, it's a bigger group now. It isn't just veterans. There's some number of second-year players who have started 2 years. There's a number of third-year players who are and going into their fourth, you've already started 3 years. So a little different situation than last year with just the group and overall different team. It's a different team than 3 years ago, definitely, but it's similar to the team we had last year.
Conversations with Kittle about how he's feeling. I know he was out there a little bit later. Is he saying anything interesting? I know some think he may come back earlier, but
I mean, he's on track and very positive and happy every day, like Kittle is, and doing good. I mean, Kittle works his tail off, and he's extremely talented and gifted, so he'll do it as fast as you can.
Very, very Kyle-esque answer right there. He's on track. He didn't say what he was on track for. He's on track, right? So at the time of the injury last year, if they had him pegged to return, let's say week 6, he's on track. She said people are expecting him to come back early, blah, 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 blah. He didn't say, yeah, he might, or any of that shit. He's on track. And we've seen Kyle say this about someone who never got off of IR also. He's on track. He's looking good. Who knows, any day, and then he never saw the person. So you got to take what Kyle says with a grain of salt, but it's good to see Kyle's already in midseason form.
You talked about how you had some of the veterans over to your house for dinner. What was your message to them?
I mean, I did that last year for the first time, and I think I've told you guys about that, or other people have. It was 13 guys, and it was all guys who had been here 4 years or longer. Just to tell them kind of the difference going into this offseason compared to the previous 5. I tried to do the same thing, but when I looked up there and tried to pick those guys, there was too many of them now. There was too many guys who had kind of been a part of it, so I just ended up inviting guys, most of the starters who had been here the last 2 years. It's tough. I can't invite 90 guys over to my house, and I don't want to invite 50 guys over to my house right now, so I got to have a spot to cut it off so it doesn't get too much. But we just talked about one of the guys to be in this offseason and just the group there that was starting, and doesn't mean they're guaranteed to start this year, but we're the group that kind of went through it together last year and just leading us this way.
What's your first impression of Osadigi Zuwal over the last few days?
I mean, I've been extremely impressed with him since the day he got here. I mean, I've heard about it. It was advertised when I always knew about him just from tape. Once we traded for him, all the phone calls we got and the type of guy he is. But I mean, he's been one of the best leaders on the team so far. Just how he works, how thorough he is on everything, what he does on his own, bringing guys along with him. Everyone from Dallas told us this, and it's been that way. He's been a stud.
And Tony, I forgot to give you this earlier. I meant to do it as soon as you did it, so let me give it to you now. Round of applause for Tony, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first time hearing him say Osa Odigizua. He said it. He didn't trip up. Congratulations, Tony, man. Working hard and improving, man. I like that, man. Good job, bro. What are your expectations for him this year? I know it's a loaded question. And, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We don't know what things are going to do and all that. I understand, but he's healthy. What are we hoping for out of this guy? Are we looking for 7.5 sacks? Are we looking for 4.5 sacks but a ton of pressures? Or are we looking for double-digit sacks? Like what kind of rotational guy are we looking at here?
I think he's definitely starting. He's going to be starting next to Collins interior on the inside. I just feel like in this defense, because he even said it himself, like I watched an interview with him, how he's allowed to play freely in this defense. So I kind of think that I think his pressures will be up. I think his sack production will go up as well because of what's around him and the scheme potentially. Yeah, and I was on – I forgot whose show I was on. I think it was Breezy. And I said this is the first time ever I was kind of glad that the Niners missed out on option 1 and got option 2. Meaning John Franklin Myers was the first option, and he went to the Titans to go with Saleh, and then they turned and answered back with this. And I think he's really going to flourish in his defense in this front, plus with the surrounding cast around them. I think it's just a really good match. And, remember, listen, this team's biggest issues last year was stopping the run, and there was zero pressure from the inside. So quarterbacks would step up, have all day to throw, or even just take off in the middle of the field. And it's going to stop this year with the addition of him and 4 other guys, probably 5 other guys that they added. And I just feel like they realized what this defensive line was missing, and they addressed it, because I think they went hard on this defensive line. They went hard on the offensive line. They went hard at the speed at the skill positions of this team. They know. They saw it. They saw that film versus Seattle, and they knew in order for us to beat this team, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And it is what it is. I'm happy for it, and I'm happy with it. And, this team is never going to bring in the top guard, the top center. They might splurge on a tackle when Trent moves, but they value tackles and centers, and they love this center, and they have a left tackle, and that's it. They brought 5 bodies in to compete.
And we got to start giving McKivitz some props. They like McKivitz too, bro. I know some fans are like McKiv shits and all that. I've heard the nicknames. They like him, though. They like him a lot, Tony.
You know what I like about McKivitz? I'll tell you real quick, right? He was drafted by the Niners out of West Virginia. Another situation, guard, tackle, guard, whatever. He wasn't good. He didn't do good. He wasn't locked in. He was cut. He was brought back to the practice squad. He was eventually cut from the practice squad. And then guess what? So an injury happened. Something happened. And they signed him back to the active roster. And he's been a different player since. He took that wake up call to the heart. Yeah. He was given a second opportunity, and he took it and ran with it. And kudos to him, because in my opinion, year in and year out, his play's been nothing but positive and improved. And I think, don't hold me to this, but those ABC sites that they have that rank people, some of them have him as a top 2, top 3 right tackle.
He's getting better and better every year in those rankings.
And that says a lot. And, now allegedly he's doing pressers now. That tells you what this team thinks of him. Yep. And kudos to him. Good for him.
Yep. Well said. I won't even touch on it. Well said. All right. Let's get back to Kyle.
Kyle, when you talk about that roster transition from 2 years ago to last year, you guys had set a high standard here. And sometimes something can get lost in translation in that type of transition. Do you feel like that standard has been either restored, maintained, kept intact or maybe even gone higher since that time?
I mean, I think we have a standard. We try to talk about the standard and how we work and how we approach each day, which is with everything we got. I think our standard for our team always tries to stay that way. I mean, I like to look in a standard for results and stuff, but I think that was more our message last year. Like, we can't get obsessed with the results. You tend to get obsessed with them, especially with how close we've been. But I don't think that's the healthiest thing for our team. I didn't think it was last year. I think I kind of got my point across on that, and we had some success. Didn't accomplish the one goal we're always setting out to do, but we had some success, and now it starts over.
Is Greenlaw definitely written in as the weak side linebacker? I mean, he has had some injury stuff, but you just that's the guy who's going to be the weak side?
Yeah, definitely.
About keeping D just to make sure, or you were just...
Oh, we did. I mean, and lots of linebackers play also. You know, I mean, when it's base, there's 3 out there, so we would have loved to keep D. We also just looked at our overall roster. When you look 1 to 2 years out, also knowing the number of unrestricted free agents we have, the number of guys that we do feel can make this team at linebacker, the thought that we were going to add linebackers in the draft, and then just it's hard to stockpile players. And when you can add a draft pick and add a younger guy when you might be losing someone the next year and stuff. I mean, last thing I wanted to do was trade D. I mean, at all. We love D as a player. We love him as a person. We know how much he'd help us as one of our top 3 backers. We know how much he'd help us if Dre or Fred got hurt. But then you also look into contracts, how a year out and stuff that is, and what you're doing in the draft. And sometimes you got to make tough decisions like that can possibly help you in the future.
The leader at the strong side right now.
There isn't a leader. It's open for everyone. I mean, Giff held that the strongest last year, but it's open for everyone right now.
Did you hear that?
Say that again?
Oh, I like it. I like it. Who's the leader at the strong side right now? That's the question. Listen.
Sometimes you got to make tough decisions like that can possibly help you in the future.
The leader at the strong side right now.
There isn't a leader. It's open for everyone. I mean, Giff held that the strongest last year, but it's open for everyone right now.
Gifford held it the strongest last year, but it's open for everyone right now. I like the hesitation. It looked like he was like, I'm not. Huh?
Gifford's strictly a special teamer on this team. 100%. And in this system, I don't think he's a Raheem Morris type linebacker. He's not a pass rusher. So I think look at his track record. Look what he did.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah.
And this is not me just fucking with you or anything at all. How do we know he's not a pass rusher? They didn't try it.
He doesn't. You're right. They didn't try it, but he just does not see. He's not a quick twitch player. You could tell the way he plays. He's not twitchy. He engages. He doesn't know how to disengage sometimes when he's up on a line of scrimmage. He's getting blocked, like trying to set the edge. I just feel with Raheem Morris's scheme, your outside line, your strong side linebacker is probably one of your better pass rushers, I think, in this scheme. And it's based off of strictly the versatility that he can play with that defense with that player out there. I mean, I could be wrong, but if you're asking me how you improve your pass rush and how do you make your defense better and get pressure on the quarterback with sacks, I think you put your best 4 down linemen and you have your hybrid tweener that comes in. And that right now, in my opinion, is Romello Height. Like, if you watch, right, like I was screwing around the other day, I was on the couch. I came back from PT and I'm sitting there. I said, I'm just going to put I'm going to watch, what was the guy's name? David Bailey, right? I'm going to watch David Bailey highlights. I'm just going to watch David Bailey. And you're watching David Bailey, but you're seeing Romello Height as well. It's not like David Bailey blew Romello Height out of the water. It's not like Romello Height blew David Bailey out of the water. They're just 2 really good pass rushers. And there have been times where like if you listen to some people, like I listen to KMBR and they bring some guys on talking about the draft, 49ers draft and stuff like that, just to get other people's opinions and hear what they have to say. Doesn't mean I agree or I'm with that, but people have said the same thing. You see Romello Height when you're watching David Bailey. And the only reason why I think David Bailey really went that high is the age difference. He's 6'4", 255, 260 pounds with the same speed and athleticism as Romello Height, but Romello Height is 25 and only 242 pounds. So what are they looking at? They're looking at David Bailey as a true 4-3 defensive end or a true stand-up 3-4 outside linebacker, where other teams are looking at Romello Height as a situational guy. But I think the Niners see him more than a situational guy because I think that can bring the best out of this scheme if you have that type of player. And again, I could be wrong, but watching Romello Height rush the passer and drop in coverage, he doesn't look like it's out of his norm to drop in coverage. He doesn't look awkward. He looks comfortable. And we know what he could do as a pass rusher. So that's why I think Romello Height might be best suited now to get him on the field early or give him an opportunity to get on the field, not give him the opportunity. Give him the start, but give him the opportunity to earn it. I'm kind of with it.
I like it. All right. We're going to keep this train moving, man.
I know it's a different time, but Charles Haley was once a 240-pound outside linebacker.
Oh, he did it. Oh, he did it.
Oh, if you watch how they win, like how the elite pass rushers win, when they're taking their step, their hands are up. It's in unison. So what I'm trying to say is even though they're 240, 245, whatever that number is, by the way they rush, they're trying to get their hands on the offensive tackle before the offensive tackle get their hands on them. And then it becomes a leverage game, and that's how these guys make their dough and how they made their dough. And the second thing you got to look for is how fast, how quick he can get 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. If it's quick, what Romello Height does, very quick off the line of scrimmage. He takes 2 steps, he's 3 yards in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it with Bailey, and you watch Charles Haley when he was in his prime. That's what Charles Haley used to do.
Oh,
I'm honest with you. I'm not comparing him to him, but the skill set on how they win, it's very similar. It's even the same with Aldon Smith. When he would come in on the fourth on a nickel, he would beat the tackle with his get off and how quick he can get to 3 yards in the backfield. Some of these dudes are such rare athletes, it takes them 2 steps. It's crazy. Like I'm not comparing any of these guys to Aldon Smith or Charles Haley, but what they do similar, like what they do the same as with Charles Haley, you kind of say, well, all right, look at how fast he chews up grass. Look at how fast he gets off the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
You can't question that. It's right there. That's one thing you cannot question with Romello Height. His get off is elite, in my opinion. And I think that's why the Niners took him. And I think that's why the Niners took him over. They valued him over a Cassius Howell, right? Yes, Cassius Howell was fast, but he would beat you running the arc. His hip would drop, his arm would drop, and he had that athletic bend with his ankles to run around the tackle. Every now and then he would have a counter move inside. But when you have a guy that can do something similar and cover ground as fast as Romello Height can, but then have the hands and the skill set with the length of the arms if he had to fight off a tackle, I think that's why they valued Romello over Cassius Howell. I mean, I'm just telling you what I think and what I see, and like, you know, it's just, I don't know. If Romello Height was 22 years old and he weighed 251 pounds, he would not have gone in the third round.
I love it. I love it, man. Get me fired up, man. All right. Let's get back to Kyle. I don't want us to get sidetracked, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I swear, I wish I could find this video. I would watch this video on Patreon. I mean, on here with you guys. There is a guy who broke down Romello and Bailey, and it was like them doing same play at the same time, and just how Romello was dominating and just doing things that Bailey just couldn't do because of that explosive step. And it's like a 2.5, 3 minute long video. And when I watched that, I don't know why I didn't favorite it. I don't know why I didn't bookmark it or anything. That video got me so fired up. Like, and I know what, you shouldn't do it from a clip, but this is a guy who admitted, I was going to watch David Bailey to put together his pros. Like, this is what the purpose was. But every time I was watching, Romello was just doing something better. And it was like, why isn't this guy being looked at as a top 10 pick? Why isn't he being looked at as a top 10 pick? And he just broke down just what they were doing on the same play, same design, everything. Like, they were asking them to do the same thing, but just on opposite sides. And most of the time, Height was going against the left tackle, who was the better guy. And then when they flipped it to the right side, he completely dominated. Like, it was just, I wish I could find that tweet. I've been looking for it for such a long time, and I can't find it. And it was a nice, long video. This guy took his time. He broke down exactly what they were doing, the formations they were coming out of. It was such a great video, man. One day I'll find it, and I'll share it with you guys. But right now I don't have it. But we're going to get back to Kyle Shanahan because we are already over the hour mark. Tony, I really don't think we're going to get to everybody. We might have to stop at Kyle and then maybe come back on like Saturday and do the players maybe. I don't know. I do want to hear from Nick Bosa, though, so we're going to at least hear from Nick Bosa. Oh, shit, I messed up. Oh, no. Where were we?
Are you guys doing anything special with the Australia trip? Like, what's your...
Oh, no, I went too far.
After going to Australia?
Went too far.
Right now.
Here we go.
There isn't a leader. It's open for everyone. I mean, GIF held that the strongest last year, but it's open for everyone right now.
The Thune at all be an option there, or do you just want to save him to back up in the mic?
Linebacker, just like receiver and just like interior lineman, you got to be an option at all three. I mean, you only got so many people up on game day, so you always got to be an option. We do believe Mike Tatum's strength. That's what he did in college. That's what we feel his skill set sets at the best. But we usually have 5 guys make it, sometimes 6. You're always going to usually keep the best 5 or the best 6, however that pans out.
Well, did you say that Nick Bosa is here rehabbing?
Yes.
And then what's the interest level in signing his big brother?
I mean, I love signing good players. But I mean, my kids do Instagram and look at your guys' stuff, so they ask me that all the time too. I'm not hearing about all that stuff much. I know, I look at our team as kind of, we have our team, and anyone else that we can figure out to bring, especially someone like that would be awesome. But this stuff's not always possible.
We've been pretty vocal about going to Australia week 1, but the league scheduled you guys 3 home games after that. Just your thoughts on that after going to Australia?
I mean, 3 home games is irrelevant. That doesn't mean anything. It means you're going to have 3 more road games in December and January. So that's my answer on 3 home games.
Where does Nick Martin stand in that linebacker room? He took a while for him to get on the field last year, and once he did, had that concussion that sort of...
I think we got 2 guys who've established as starters, and I think we got a big-time competition for 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Come on, let's go now. Please. All right, you're going to make me have to. Okay, fine.
Very positive about Jordan James at the end of last year, saying that you were
kind of keen to get him in, but the opportunity didn't show up. What have you seen from him now back out on the field?
Similar to I think what someone asked earlier about Jordan Watkins and Jake. You know, I'm always curious how these guys are going to come back when we see them for the first time in April or the end of March, whenever that is. And sometimes guys come off their rookie year and they finally relax because they've been going since their bowl game, since the combine, and they come really out of shape. And those are the guys that usually have a sophomore slump or the guys that don't get it. And so I was really curious to see how he came back, and it was really cool. He came back in shape on day one, which I think allowed him to really gain ground in these 5 weeks. He didn't come here for us to get him in shape. He came in shape, and it allows him to get better at football.
What's going on with Guerendo?
Guerendo tore his pec lifting about a month ago.
Is that a season ender?
It's not a season ender, but it's right around the end of training camp.
Oh, we did it a month ago.
As far as that strong side spot at linebacker, is it too much to think that Jaden Duggar could come in and, you know, play that role? He seems kind of custom built for it, but he's also a rookie.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much. I mean, you know, we've had rookies come in here and play a linebacker. If you look at Greenlaw and you look at Fred, not trying to compare anyone to those two guys, but it's always a possibility. I mean, the spot is open. We have 2 established guys, and we can have an on-the-ball linebacker as a third. We can have an off-the-ball linebacker. We got a number of different skill sets in that room this year, and I think it'll be one of the more fun positions to watch how it plays out.
Just reading between the lines, it doesn't seem like you're too thrilled about your schedule. Is that
I mean, I try to answer questions without, like I told you guys when you guys asked, I said, when you get it, you just deal with it. And that's what I'm dealing with. Now, you'd rather not travel that much, but I don't care as much about that. It's more about recovery.
Are you guys doing anything special with the Australia trip? Like, how early are you gonna get in? Do you spend another night there? What are you guys doing?
I mean, usually when you travel 19-hour flight, you know, you don't want to get there the day before because you lose like a whole day there too, and you're just messed up. The people we've talked to, you don't feel normal to like the 3rd or 4th day. So we're gonna we'd like to go out 7 days early, but since it takes a day and a half to travel there, we're gonna go 9. I think we leave on Wednesday and land on a Friday. And so then we get there about 7 days before our game. I think it's Friday. We play Thursday. We're fighting more.
Yes. That's what I wanted to fucking hear right there, Tony. That's what I wanted to hear. Not this 4 or 5 day bullshit. We're leaving 9 days early, which will equate to 7 whole days there, bro. That's what I'm talking about. And you're doing that. That means that they're basically leaving as soon as the last preseason game is over. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get everything loaded up, guys. You got to pack a lot of bags. We're going to be there for a week, or you're buying clothes while you're there. Who gives a shit? Like, you just need a couple of sweatpants, and we'll be out there in hotels most of the time. Like, come on, guys. Let's go, man. 9 days ahead of time is fucking amazing. I love that. I love it. I'm sorry. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's the only way you could do it. But the problem is if they leave, the game is what, Thursday here, but Friday there, right?
I've been fucked up with the time. Yeah, I'm just gonna say yes.
So it's Thursday here, Friday there. So they would have to play the game and literally get on a plane and come right home. So then that gives you, that means you'll land here Friday?
2 days later. It's just like it's 2 days to fly. It's 19 hours, but it's also a day ahead. So it's 2 days. Remember, he said 9, but it's really 7. So they're going to leave on 1 day, but get here 2 days later.
So they're actually going to land here, what, Friday here?
If they leave on Friday there,
they'll
if
land
they get
here.
right on the plane, they'll land here Saturday.
Are you sure?
Because it's 19 hours, so that makes it Saturday. And they're playing on Friday.
They're playing Friday there, Thursday here.
Right.
So
but then
it'll be Thursday night here when they get on a plane Friday there. And I think they would be landing here Friday night.
I still think it's going to be Saturday because of the.
Because don't
I
forget,
think it's going to be Saturday just because of the time of the flight.
It's
right.
3 hours back from East Coast to there.
I don't know. It's weird. It's fucking weird. The coming back is going to be the issue, and getting readjusted after being there for a whole week.
Then, like literally, they don't play. They don't play that weekend. Those guys need to be like in the hotel rooms sleeping. Like, get your body clocks back, and then you start.
Yep. They need to have a night of staying up as long as possible so they can go to sleep at a regular real time.
They have to reset
try to sleep
body clocks.
Yeah. That's going to be the crunch. The week going there, they'll be fine. Week 1 will be fine. It's what we're going to look like week 2.
And that's why Wayne asked me the trap game, and I said that week 2 game could be a trap game for them.
For sure.
Because
that's the game.
They are.
Yeah. They can still be all discombobulated and shit. And God forbid there's a major injury and that person can't fly back right away. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, that's when it can get scary. So, all right, let's get back to it. They're leading up to the question that I wanted us to discuss about Mexico City. They're so close to it. We can almost taste it. So let's rewind it a little bit, and here we go.
And so then we get there about 7 days before our game. I think it's Friday. We play Thursday or Friday morning, Australian time, Thursday here. So that's it.
Camp here a little bit, right, because of that?
You have to. I mean, when we're starting, everyone gets that bye week after your 4th week. The whole NFL gets 3 bonus practices and 4 mandatory days off. We're traveling on that 3rd day to Australia. So you kind of miss that week to recover and to have those days off and those bonus days. So it ends up being about a week different than usual.
You like to have your extra week of practice here, or in your mind you're having an extra week of practice there?
I would love to have 3 extra bonuses practice here and then 4 days off, like everyone. But when you open on a Thursday, on the other side of the world, you lose that because it takes a couple days to travel there. It takes a couple days to adjust.
Earlier, the camp.
We can't start camp earlier. Camp's all based off of, I think, 15 days away from your first preseason game. So you just lose those days.
Have you already finalized plans for Mexico City? Will you do altitude?
We haven't finalized it yet, but we'd love to stay here and go there. It's a shorter flight, but that's not really the issue. The main thing with Mexico City is it's 2,000 miles higher than Denver, and so we like to get adjusted to that altitude. So we'll probably go to Colorado Springs again, like we did last time, to get ready for that altitude, and then probably go to Mexico City the night before.
So this is what I wanted to discuss. The mistake that no one pointed out. He said 2,000 miles higher. And that's not what he meant to say. It's not 2,000 miles higher. It's 2,000 feet higher.
Yeah.
So Denver is already a mile high. Like the city, that's why they call it Mile High City. Like it's the altitude in Denver is already crazy. And then you're going 2,000 more feet up in the air, even higher. So that's even thinner air. But here's their plan for it. And this is what I liked. So I thought more people were going to make a big deal of what he said there with the 2,000 miles higher. I like that. But I didn't see a lot about it. So here we go.
The main thing with Mexico City is it's 2,000 miles higher than Denver. And so we like to get adjusted to that altitude. So we'll probably go to Colorado Springs again, like we did last time, to get ready for that altitude, and then probably go to Mexico City the night before.
That's straight from Dallas?
We haven't decided that yet, but most likely. We'll probably end up, the Mexico City trip will probably be a longer one than the Australia one, just because of that.
You guys good?
All right, guys. Good seeing you guys.
And that's
Any big
why
takeaways from this? Oh, go ahead.
That's why he didn't want to play Denver in that game. It was a disadvantage.
Right. So I thought that was a pretty solid presser from Kyle. Nothing new, nothing groundbreaking or anything like that. Just solid answers there. He did his little Kyle thing, but I like the peek behind the curtain for how they're going to plan for Mexico as well as Australia. Australia, we knew they were going to leave early. The question was how much earlier, right? What I didn't want to hear was that we're going to go 4 or 5 days earlier. That was going to annoy me because you're really just giving yourselves 2-3 days to adjust. I love the 9 days earlier, which is a week. I absolutely love that.
This is the Rams will find out the same day.
As the Niners?
No, the day of the game, which I don't understand how that works.
No, they're not. They're not. No, who said that?
Someone said it. Someone on one of the shows. What was it? It wasn't a. I think it was the radio, like the KMBR, that the Rams are leaving 24 hours. That's what it was, 24 hours ahead of the game. So they're literally just – it's hard to tell what day because if it's Thursday here but Friday there, so they would have to leave Wednesday here to get there for Thursday to play for – I don't know.
That's if the Rams are – hold on, let me see. I got a clip here from Matt Stafford talking about it. You know what? Fuck it. I'll share it. I'll share this. Hold on. Matt Stafford is on with what's the punter's name? What's the guy's name? Pat McAfee. Here we go. I'll share it.
This crazy ass.
Let's see if he gives a nugget. If he doesn't answer it, then oh well. But at least we can hear what their plans are a little bit. Let's see. So Pat McAfee asked him about preparing for Week 1, the game in Australia.
I think it's a huge deal to represent our sport down there for the first time. What is your mindset about it, and how do you think you guys will be approaching it as the season comes up?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Is it difficult, logistically to figure that out, especially at my age, to try to figure out the flight and feel good and play good when we get there? Yes, but at the same time, like you said, it is cool to be able to spread this game across the world. When we first came in the league in 2009, they just kind of started playing the games in London. And to see what it is now and how it's developed and how the game is spread around the world, it's an amazing thing. And it's really cool to have lived kind of the old life of that and watching it go, as it is now, playing all over the world in different continents and different countries and spreading the game. So I'm excited about it. I know the guys on our team are excited about it. A couple guys have gone down in the offseason and came back, and they spoke the same about the flight back and some of the difficulties we might have. But, shoot, it's an NFL season. We're playing on every day of the week, it seems like, this year. So let's go. Just put the ball down. Let's go play.
We appreciate you representing the sport. You're going to do a fantastic job.
He said just
let
me tell you, he's got nerve. Just put the ball down. We'll go play. Man, your back's worse than mine, and I got into a car accident.
I like the confidence. The Niners are kind of doing this the opposite, right? Every time I hear from McVay or players on the Rams, it's like, yeah, man, look, we don't care. We got to go out and we got to play. But Kyle and the Niners are kind of like whining about the schedule, like, oh well, I even just now, Kyle was like, it's like, I try to answer, and you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. But Kyle has also not bit his tongue about not liking the schedule and being upset about the schedule and all that, right? Like, the Rams are like, it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. We're going to go out. We're going to play. It was like, if we got to play a game every day of the week. That was Matt Stafford's mentality, right? If we got to put the ball down, we're going to play. I kind of like that, just saying it, even if you don't mean it. Even if you don't mean it, just keep saying it to yourself. Like, we got to go out there and we got to do it. So the fuck what? I don't know.
Yeah, but listen, you know how I feel about it. It's first of all, it's the first time it's being done, and the Rams and the Niners are the guinea pigs. And essentially, in my opinion, it has to be done. Someone has to do it the first time. I understand that, but what I don't like is like the whole thing where they gave the Rams allegedly what they wanted, and they didn't give the Niners nothing. And that's what I don't like. So I think the Niners did the right approach.
That's fair.
You got to remember something. The Rams don't come back till Monday night. The Niners are 125.
Play Sunday, 1 o'clock.
That's, it's tough. I'm sorry. Like, there's pros and cons for both teams, but like, he can shut up for all I care. Like, I understand you like the confidence for it, but honestly, he's probably behind the scenes bitching about it because with his back, he goes on the plane. You know what he's gonna be like? Like, it's crazy. Like, they put this persona on. Fuck Sean McVay too. I'm tired of his ass. But like,
did you see the report that he was going to retire and his wife talked him out of it? Did you? Yeah. Did you see that?
He's a clown.
Yeah, I like that shit, man. Let's go, bro. Let's go, man. Red and gold till I'm dead and cold, baby. Come on, man. Fuck them. All right. Let's hear from Nick Bosa. All right. He's been patiently waiting. So we're going to, without further ado. I want to listen to this in times 2 already.
What has this process been like for you after already going through it, earlier in your career?
It's different every time. Definitely a long road. Never fun, but as you get better physically, your mind gets better also. So it's just not about looking ahead, it's just about day by day getting better and just working back and then kind of figuring things out as you go.
Where are you right now in your recovery?
I'm pretty far along. I'm out on the field doing a lot of stuff, trying to just take it slow because I tend to push things quicker, and obviously I got injured pretty early last year, so there's plenty of time for me to really kind of lay the groundwork to be ready for a long season. So it's going really well, and I plan on being ready.
Now, when Nick Bosa says I'm where I'm supposed to be and I plan on being ready, you got to listen to what he said right before that. So when Kyle said what he said about George Kittle, he's on track. He didn't say what he was on track for.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, right before that, said, I tend to push myself too much, so I'm trying not to rush anything. He wanted to be on the field last year after his injury. We know how Bosa brains work, right? They want to be on the field. I tore my ACL. Is it possible I can get back next week? Is there a surgery I can do? I can get back out here next, right? They don't care. That's how they are. When he says I'm on track and I'm close and I'm already on the field doing stuff, he wants to be ready week 1. This guy plans to be playing week 1. He said, I got injured obviously really early, so that's plenty of time. Like, listen to him again. I love this answer from Nick Bosa.
Sure, so there's plenty of time for me to really kind of...
No. A little bit before that. Just give me a little bit before that.
I tend to push things quicker, and
there it is.
Obviously, I got injured pretty early last year, so there's plenty of time for me to really kind of lay the groundwork to be ready for a long season. So, it's going really well, and I plan on being ready.
Come on, Tony. Is this guy not saying I'm earning my captain's patch back here, baby? And I'm gonna be here week 1. Like, that's what he's telling me, bro.
He's also laying the foundation for another payday too, because you know what's coming up after next year if he gets 18 sacks. Get ready for it.
Good problems, baby. Good problems right there. Those are the problems I want the Niners to have. You win the Super Bowl. You got the NFL's sack leader. Let's go get him, man. Come on. Let's go. Give him $40 million a year. Who gives a shit? $50 million a year. I don't care. Pay him more than Brock Purdy.
Already.
Mentioned about everything you just mentioned, and you mentioned the process of the mind getting back there. How has that process been mentally for you, and then where are you today in that process?
It was rough early on. Obviously, you just want to be able to play, especially how good things were going for the defense. And me personally, I felt that I was at a pretty high level to start the year. And then as you start out wanting to quit and never play again and never put your body in that position again, and then slowly you realize that you love this game and you want to get back to it and get back to, and I mean, I've never doubted that I could get back to where I am. It's a good thing I play today and not back when my dad did, because I probably wouldn't be playing anymore. But luckily they fix you up pretty good, and I'm feeling really good. So my mind's also better. I think I've obviously had a lot of time to work on that and just kind of enjoy some time off. And all the rest of my body feels pretty darn good. My fingers probably haven't felt this good in 20 years. So yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Bro, this was heavy. This was heavy, and I liked it a lot. All right, so what's up with his what?
He said his fingers.
Yeah, so I was going to get to that. But so the first thing I wanted to say was,
Excuse me, bitch?
he said right after his injury, he thought about never playing again, never putting his body through that again. I didn't know that Bosa thought that. Even if it was just for a day, even if it was when he was getting carted off the field. You know what I mean? I didn't know he thought that. Tony, that scared the shit out of me when he said that. I can't tell you how many times I've heard NFL players say, once you stop and think about retiring, you should just do it because you're not going to play the same way. But I also understand that he was answering a very direct question about the mental process. So he took her through the timeline. So I appreciate him being that vulnerable. You know, you get hurt. It's like, why do I keep putting myself through this? Because this is his third time now, right?
It's his third ACL, and then he had core surgery.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, this is, wow. Oof. So I do understand immediately after it happens, why do I keep putting myself through it? I do get it. But he said he had a lot of time. Now, the finger thing, one of the things that Nick Bosa does better than anybody else in the league is the hands and feet work together really, really well. And I got to tell you, Tony, when you're jamming pads, you ever feel, you played, I'm sure you felt pads. There's buckles, there's hooks, there's divots in those pads. They're all over the place. And when you're jamming pads, I'm sure you're smacking up, you know what I mean, to create the leverage. Those fingers are getting jammed in there, and that shit hurts. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure not smacking on pads and practicing all this time, and even when you're doing the dummies, the padded dummies, when you're jamming those up, right? That stuff hurts in your fingers. Look, I bowl, and I sit around and I find myself doing this a lot, just exercising my fingers, and I'm not jamming anything. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I think that's crucial for a guy whose hands are just as important as his feet. That's positive. His hands haven't felt this good in 20 years, Tony. That's great.
Yeah. Well, definitely. How many times my finger got caught in a face mask? Oh.
Oof.
That's terrible.
I was moving a refrigerator. I actually picked it up today. My father-in-law's refrigerator broke down. And so we have a refrigerator in my garage that we keep extra food in. So we took all the food out. We took it to my father-in-law while he bought his, and he used ours. And when I was taking it off the flatbed, you know how on the back of a truck, when you lay the flatbed down, there's like a dip in where the hinge is. Mm-hmm. So we're sliding the refrigerator forward. It gets caught on the hinge. I lifted it up. My son pushed. And then when I went to put it down, my finger got caught underneath it. And I was supposed to go bowling that day. I didn't go bowling that day because it landed on my right hand, which is my dominant hand. I was lifting it up, and it landed on it. I can only imagine what those guys go through with their hands and their fingers. That's why you see the defensive linemen, their hands are all taped. Offensive linemen, too, because they do the same thing. Their hands are always taped up. You got all these layers of tape. A lot of them keep certain fingers taped together. You know what I mean? Sometimes the guys are walking around like this with the tape like that. You know what I mean? They got what is that? What is that, Star Trek? Star Wars? Yeah. I don't know. But that's how they have their fingers taped up. You know what I mean? To try to keep it together and stabilize those things. So yeah, I do get it, man. But it's good to hear that he's got his hands back too. That's something really, really positive. You ever think about when Patrick Willis was talking about he retired as soon as he did because of how bad his feet bothered him? This is something that, can restore a little bit there for Bosa. I like that.
Your feet. If your feet are hurt, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's everything. Walking, running, standing, planting, all that. Oh, my God. Don't get me started.
Years. So, yeah, I'm excited.
You say the excitement. How do you feel about Raheem Morris coming in as?
It's been great. He's really funny in the meetings. He's kind of like a comedian up there, but also very knowledgeable and obviously has a background with the Rams and obviously being a head coach. So he has a lot of familiarity with the offenses that we're going to be playing against and that we have to have success against. So I'm excited.
You mentioned that every time it's a little different for you. How has it been different this time specifically?
Just where you are in your career and your life, and just how you go about it. Like when I did it in 20, it was just like balls to the wall, get back, push every milestone as hard as you possibly can. And I probably dealt with some stuff that I didn't need to deal with in terms of just kind of the bumps in the road of recovery. And now I'm taking it slow. I kind of have references to go back and look at. But yeah, I mean, just mentally, like obviously I was in a different spot there, and now, I mean, it's just a different time. And my second one on this knee, so it was a little different. They took from that patella again. So the tendon needed a little more time to kind of adapt, which was an adjustment, but it feels great. So,
How do you? Wait, they said they took it from his patella tendon. Oh,
Yeah. So, as a person who popped their patella tendon, I can speak to this. When it happened, I asked the doctor if I was going to need surgery, and he said, "This is going to sound insane because I know how you feel right now, but it's basically a worthless tendon in your calf." He's like, you don't really need it. He was like, so no, we don't do a surgery to repair it or anything like that. Just let it go naturally. And so because it's a tendon that is already like used to your body and the strains and all, they snip it and they can use it to replace and repair what is gone from the ACL.
wait, the patella tendon? That's what I just tore.
That's the one in that's what I tore.
The patella tendon runs from your shin to the halfway into the middle of your quad, and it holds your kneecap in place.
That's what I remember when I was on crutches a couple years ago from the kickball injury.
Yeah, but you would need surgery for patella tendon because your knee would buckle. 100%.
No, wait, am I thinking about something different?
I think
hold on.
The patella tendon is what holds your kneecap, like kind of in place. Like it's a big surgery.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm talking about the right one. I'm not talking about the right one. What's the tendon I popped him? I tore the plantaris.
Yeah,
that's the one That's the one that I tore. I'm wrong. I apologize.
No, because I'm sitting here. I'm like, wait a second. I said, you can have surgery for that, and they said you don't
My
need
bad,
surgery.
bro.
What?
My bad. I'm glad you were here to correct me on that one. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. Now I'm looking at the patella now. You're right. That's way more significant.
It keeps your knee intact.
So he said they took away from it again, which means they did it before.
So how it goes is like it ties into your quad, right? So they probably took it from that area where the quad muscle could adhere to the tendon as like a safety net, like a backup to keep it strong.
Yeah. It's on top of the femur. Okay, I see it. Okay. It's really long. I wonder if they trim it because it looks like it's also wide. I wonder if they trim it like like I wonder if they did like how can I explain like string cheese. You know what I'm saying? You don't cut it, but you just peel.
Oh no, you don't
the edge.
cut the tendon, you take it off the sides.
Yeah. So
Because
maybe that's why they did it.
If you cut this way, your tendon he'll be out for the year with a patella tendon injury. If they cut it like this way, if they shave the side, and then they go into the knee and reattach and recreate the ACL, that's the way they do it. But fuck that! I'm never doing that shit again. That was insane.
But this is what he was talking about with the difference in technology from his dad playing.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying, to now, because I guarantee you they weren't doing that back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They weren't doing that shit then.
Like if you sustained an ACL injury in the 80s, your career was pretty much
Yeah.
Like you were done.
Yep.
But today with the technology, how they go in and they freaking recreate it, and some say stronger than what it was before it tore. Like,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. All right.
And
Learn something new today.
so the tendon needed a little more time to kind of adapt, which was an adjustment, but it feels great. So
How do you feel as far as Morris may throw a lot more 5-man fronts? How's your job changed in a 4-man as opposed to a 5-man front?
my job won't change too much either way. It just kind of sets us up in a better position to stop some of the ways that offenses are starting to attack the edge. But I'll be playing the same attack football that I always do.
I wanted to say this 3 questions ago. He said that we got Raheem Morris. He's a clown or a joker or a comedian, whatever it was that he said. But he said something that I never stopped to think about. And yes, I knew that Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator on that Rams team. Tony, we're going to sweep the Rams this year. This is our first time having a defensive coordinator directly from an opposing divisional round offense. He was there with them all year long. He knows exactly what they like to do. Or is it going to be like when we went against Robert Saleh with the Jets and we just dominated him?
it could be very well that. I mean, it's
because McVay knows his tendencies also.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so if you had to pick a team that was going to sweep, which team would it be? Based off of how intelligent Sean McVay is, versus now not only do I want you to factor in Raheem Morris playing there for the whole year and knowing their tendencies, but also factor in Kyle's input and how well we typically play against the Rams.
I mean, logically, I would say the Rams, but I got to be honest with you. Like, the league already pretty much said the Rams are winning the Super Bowl. Everybody and their mother saying the Rams are the best team in the NFL. My thing is Seattle's the winner is the champ until they get knocked off the throne. But I got to be honest with you. Seattle, I think, took a pretty decent step back after that Super Bowl team. And I think to go from the hunter to the hunted for Sam Darnold, I think could be an issue. And my opinion is basically off of that offense ran off of K9, and he's no longer there. So I don't know, man. I think the NFC West is going to be very interesting. I think – and I think the Niners know it. I think they see it. They obviously watch what moves are made, but the Rams secondary, bro, I think the Rams secondary is the best secondary in the NFL, and it's not close. I think that defense could be flying, could be humming this year with what they did to that secondary. That's just my opinion.
I'm calling it now. The Niners get the sweep, baby. I'm calling it now. Niners sweep the Rams.
Trey McDuffie, Watson, Lake, and fucking the kid that they signed, Curl. Oh,
yeah,
that's scary.
We'll see.
But again, like, you go all in on that position group, and then you go all in on your defensive line, and then your linebackers are essentially your weakest link. So.
And that's the bread and butter for some offenses, for some opposing offenses.
Yeah.
There's offenses, Kyle, who loves to take advantage of inexperienced linebackers or linebackers who can't cover. You know what I mean? Kyle was doing whatever he wanted to do against the Colts because Zaire Franklin can't cover to save his life.
Yeah.
Zaire Franklin is a run-stopping, tackling machine. But you ask him to do anything in coverage at all, he can't do it. And I love Zaire. Big Pennsylvania guy, you know what I'm saying? But that's not his bag. You lose your two linebackers, and you got some new guys out there. You got to see what they do now.
True.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling here. We're almost done.
Stadiums that host the World Cup, that also host NFL, putting in grass for the soccer, and then going back to turf for the NFL.
I didn't hear about that.
How do you react to that? I know you've been a bunch of players obviously want more grass field to see them.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre, but What can you expect?
Awful to see the injuries that happened last year, but all of you rehabbing together, did it give you a little bit more support emotionally?
I mean, yeah, I guess I'd obviously never want to see guys go down, but having Fred along the road every morning in the training room getting worked on in the early stages, and then obviously Michael joining the gang, but yeah, I mean it's kind of a lonely time, so having those guys helps.
He'll kind of lean on you.
What was that?
What do you think of the rookies so far, Romelo and Vincent?
Really far along group. Obviously, we haven't done much football yet, but just really good looking athletes. And every single guy that we brought in, the 3D tackles and Romelo, I'm not missing anybody, right? Huh?
Kamara.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Mikhail. We got some similar names in there. But yeah, no, even Mikhail, Romelo, they all look like pretty far along. You usually don't see guys going through the drills looking as well as they have. So obviously it's not football time yet. And it's tough nowadays because you can't really, we're doing like a full speed walkthrough type thing. And we weren't wearing helmets yesterday. So for the D tackles, it's like, it's almost counterproductive because you're teaching bad technique essentially. So, but we'll see. But Romelo looks explosive, looks really good. He looks polished for a rusher, which is nice. So.
Talked about him being kind of Gundy-esque, similar. I remember what you were really complimentary of Drake Jackson when he first came in. Is it kind of that similar type of bend?
Yeah, similar. Drake was something I've never seen in that sense, but Romelo's really explosive, fast, and he kind of looks a little more polished than Drake was. But yeah, it'll be fun to work with him.
What ways did Michael lean on you throughout that process, Michael? What ways did he lean on you?
What was the question?
What ways did Michael lean on you throughout the process?
Just we were kind of at different stages, but he definitely just asked questions, and as the process went on,
basically there wasn't much going on.
Sometimes you hit.
How is he going to lean on him?
Like,
hey, how do you rehab?
Like
you listen to your doctors.
Issues throughout the
These
process.
are silly
and
questions.
It's kind of natural too, and you just have to kind of take it in stride and either take a step back or whatever needs to happen, and just trust the process and kind of help them with that.
To kind of learn from your own experience, not to push it too fast, and to kind of go at a pace that feels comfortable.
Nick, do you have any idea what Joey's plans are in terms of whether he's interested in coming here or whether he's retiring or what he's going to do?
Yeah, I think he's working on his golf game right now, so I don't think
I didn't
he's
like this
thinking
question
too much
either.
about football.
Nick, Kyle's kind of indicated that you'd be ready around the start of training camp, if not soon after. Is that kind of what your expectation is, or are you even thinking?
I'd say so, yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks.
All right, now Tony, I want to ask you this. I know we're a little pressed for time. Dre Greenlaw is up next. I'm dying to hear from him. Do you want to go? I'm going to listen to Dre Greenlaw. But do you want to go or do you want to stay for Dre? And I'm not going to lie to you. After Dre, oh no, shit, this is CMC. Fuck. I really don't want to hear from CMC. I want to hear from Dre. Do we stop now, or do you think you got enough in you?
No, I can't do that much more. My eyes are going already. You don't see me going like this every 2 seconds.
I want to hear from Dre so bad. All right, what if I do this?
You could go. It's fine. I just can't. I'll be like this in about 5 minutes.
Will people be mad if I skip CMC? All right, I tell you what. I'm gonna let you go. Give me your thoughts. Give me your final thoughts, man. Just give me a little summary on everything and let me know what you thought. It was good to hear from Nick Bosa, honestly, man. Especially this early in the offseason. We don't normally get that. The voluntary stuff, he's not usually here. I thought that's something that bodes really, really well. Because once I get through CMC, then there's Then there's Dre Greenlaw, and I want to hear from him. And then at that point, I only got one more to go, and it's McKivitt. So I am going to finish this thing out. But again, really, really good to hear from Nick Bosa. Good to hear his recovery. I liked his vulnerability again when she asked him about the mental process, and he was like, "Why I don't need to put my body through this anymore." And he kind of like walked it back. Like, you start missing the game. You realize that you've been playing for so long, like it's a part of who you are. So I do like it. I really, really do like it. It was good to hear from Kyle. I love that Kyle wears his emotions on his sleeves as much as he tries to hide it. Kyle does not like the schedule. You and Kyle are in lockstep when it comes to how much you guys hate the schedule that the NFL gave the team. I don't like the schedule and all the travel either, but with the way that they did it, I have some things that I appreciate. One of the things that I liked about it is also some of the things they hate, right? The Niners have always said we don't want to play a lot of home games early in the season because of the heat and the temperature. And then here we go with 3 in a row, right at home, early in the season, all in the month of September. You know what? So I do understand the frustrations, but they're home games against, not for nothing, some middle-of-the-pack teams where we should be able to go ahead and eke those wins out. They got to play in the heat just like we do. You know what I mean? So you run the cooled benches and all that stuff, and you put the PVC pipes with the air conditioners running through them and all that stuff. You guys know how to cool off at home. You know how to do it. You built the stadium. It's not like we just got to the stadium. We know what we're doing. So it's pros and cons to it all. Give me a little recap of what you thought of all the pressures, if anything stood out, and just your feelings on everything, because we're going to get back into the flow of things and doing shows on a regular and consistent basis now. So just go ahead and break down whatever it is that you want to before we let you go.
Well, I feel Kyle's locked in. I think he's excited for this season. I think he's excited with the roster and what he currently has in house. He reiterated that. So him coming in locked in like that and happy with what he has right now currently, especially on the offensive side of the ball, that's something that's a positive. As far as Bosa, I love how Bosa singled out Romello Height. Then spoke about Drake Jackson, but then doubled down again on Romello Height. And this is a premier pass rusher, a well-respected pass rusher, a well-taught and polished pass rusher in the league. So for him to come out and say something like that and what he's seen out of Romello Height, it's a positive. And that's pretty much it. Like, as far as the league with the whole thing, like the scheduling, like I just feel the Niners continuously get punished for one thing. They don't want to be on Hard Knocks. So they get punished for it, and it's not right. If a team does not want to participate in Hard Knocks, they shouldn't be treated the way the 49ers are. And I'm not even going to dig into like the officials and shit with games and like how shit like that, but the Niners always are like an uphill battle when it comes to the officiating, anything with the league. It's continuously year in, year out, and it just gets frustrating at some point. Like, especially like when you're a guinea pig, as well as the Rams, you specifically ask for something. They specifically asked for 2 things. They got both the things, and Ryan's got none. So I feel bad for Kyle Shanahan because of that. But on the other hand, I don't think it's bitching and whining. I think it's just frustration that they just continuously get shafted year in and year out. Like, look at the death stretch that they have at the end of that schedule. And if you're going to tell me that's easy, no way in hell is that easy.
No. And my response to that has been the same consistently, is that by then the Niners have all these new pieces and they know how to use them, and so it's our best opportunity, right? I wouldn't want that ending at the beginning because we got too many new pieces, new faces, and new places. So I wouldn't want that early either. So that was my response. But I did want to say this though, and I don't know if you saw this chart that came out. Typically, I mean, honestly, 80% of the time since Kyle's been here, they've been here for 10 years now. I mean, 8 of those years, the Niners are typically on the bottom end of the days of differential. You know what I'm talking about? Like the days of rest versus your opponent.
Yeah, zero.
We're normally at the bottom. Tony, we are right in the middle.
But the problem is, Mike, there's context with that. There's a lot of context with that people are not talking about. There's a reason why that 0 is a 0, because they almost go a week and a half with no game with this first week. But due to the massive time swing in travel, that's significant, man. Your body's going to take at least 24 to 48 hours to recoup, to go there for 9 days, get on that time, play a game, then jump on a plane and come back, 3 or 4 time zones, and then recoup and then prep for another week on an early start. That's massive. Like, I understand it's the beginning of the year. I understand that. But that is bullshit. That is what makes that 0. That is what makes that number 0. Because it's Thursday all the way to the following Sunday. So they're considered as rest days. But meanwhile, it's rest days. But the recovery from that trip it's ridiculous. But like, there's a part of this schedule like where I think they absolutely get screwed. Like, they're home 125, which is 4 o'clock, 4:25 our start, right? So it's an early game for them. They're home versus Seattle. Then they fly cross country to play the Giants, to come home for another early start versus the Rams, then go south to the Chargers, to go to Kansas City, and then fly back to play Philadelphia. That's tough, bro. I mean, now listen. Yes, you have to travel. I understand that. I'm aware of it. They're a West Coast team. The majority of teams are not on the West Coast. I understand that. But the level of teams that they're competing in that stretch is ridiculous. That stretch right there, if they could be in trouble if they don't come out 4-0.
Yeah, but the Chargers and Eagles suck. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, sure.
Chargers and Eagles suck. Kansas City is different.
You know what? Kansas City's going to be a handful this year. And if you don't
I'm saying that I said suck and then I said different. I was saying that like that for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You got a motivated Patrick Mahomes coming back and all that shit. Yeah.
You just got to understand, when you put the team that you're playing versus the travel included, that 0 that they put on that chart, you could kiss my ass with that 0, because that's irrelevant. The only reason why it's a 0 is because of the stretch that they have in the beginning of the year. That's the only reason why that's 0. And it's really false. They're counting days on the calendar where you got to throw 4 of those days out for recovery. At least 4 of those days for travel back, recovery, play the game, travel back, recovery, and prep. Like, that's insane.
Okay, but let's say we throw out the 4 days, right? There were seasons where the Niners were like at a disadvantage of like 17 days. Like, it's okay, so let's call it 4 days. Let's call it 5. It's still one of the better schedules we've had as far as I'm only talking about the rest.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but with the league, they say the 49ers have a third place schedule. That schedule's made and it's analyzed as a third place schedule off of the previous season, not what the team's done this offseason. The Giants aren't going to be a pushover this year with John Harbaugh there. They're not.
And Cam Scatterboo back, yeah.
Dallas has gotten better, okay? It's sad to say, we're Niner fans. Dallas has got a better team, right? So there's really no pushovers past the first 3. Well, after week 1, then you have 2 consecutive weeks of pushovers. Technically, we don't know. The Rams, the Dolphins, okay, Arizona, you don't know what Arizona's going to do. Denver could come out and slap the shit out of this team. You don't know. Then you have Seattle. Then you have Washington, where Washington's home. Then you got to travel to Atlanta to come back to play Vegas, to go to Dallas, to go to Mexico, right? They're playing
the
Minnesota,
Vikings. That's
Mexico,
the Vikings,
right?
yeah.
Then come home to play Seattle, to go back to Jersey, to come back to San Francisco, to go to Chargers, to go to Missouri and Kansas City, to come back to San Francisco to play Philly, and then go to Arizona and finish the year. Like, that's insane. It's insane. There's not one team, there's not one piece of that schedule that I just named that you could honestly say that's guaranteed to win. I don't see it. I don't see it. And I know the Rams schedule's tough, and I know Seattle's schedule's tough. But the problem is when you incorporate the travel, it puts it so much over what it already is. Because now you're talking about, you heard Kyle said, oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about what? Recovery. Because if you can't recover the right way, you're going to shit the bed on the next game because you're not rested. Like I would love that person who made that chart to define what I want them to define. What is a rest game? Is it including traveling? Is that a rest day? It's not. You're not resting. You're in a fucking tube, 30,000
no,
feet.
they're not. Yeah, they, and we know. Yeah, they don't count that. They don't count that because
essentially they are, because they're not playing a game. It's considered a rest day. So you're traveling.
Right. So what they do it based off of, you played Sunday, they played Sunday, and then when do you guys play? So that if you're playing, it's even. Like it's you know what I'm saying? That's how they're doing it. The travel, I do understand what you're saying. I do.
What kills it, what absolutely kills it for the 49ers is that week one. They're going to leave. I don't even know when they're going to leave, but they're going to go play the game on the 9th, right? Or the 10th, however they figured it out.
It's the 10th. It's my wife's birthday. That's how I know.
All right, so they're going to play the game on the 10th. They're going to fly home, right? And then the next game, hold on. Hey, your mother's ass. What is this doing here? All right, so they play the game on the 10th, and then their next game is the 20th, right? So you're telling me they get a 10-day window credit for quote-unquote rest, but in that includes 19-hour flight back because you're fighting the tailwinds, through the time zones, 2 days of recovery, so that's 3 days. So essentially, you're at 6 days, and that's your prep week to go into your next game. But to make that significant of a trip to the human body, it's never been done in the NFL before, and you think this team's going to come out and steamroll the Dolphins, I guarantee you that's the biggest trap game of the year. That game right there, because of that travel. No one knows how their bodies are going to respond. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you don't look at it as a blessing that they gave us the Dolphins? No quarterback, no wide receivers. I mean, I do. I swear to you, I do understand what you're saying. And this is just me just trying to be optimistic. And you know, I'm looking for the silver lining. Because if that was Kansas City, if that was, you know what I'm saying? If that was Seattle.
I don't think they had the balls to give them that type of matchup. I don't think the league would have that type of balls to do that. After a game of significance like that, no freaking.
Right. If that was the Vikings in Florida, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, I think that they, as much as they screwed us, I think they tried to do us a solid. Like, they gave us the weakest team on our schedule, not named Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I look at it. It's me. That's me. I didn't want to cut you off. These are your final thoughts. I apologize. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying.
On paper, I agree with you. On paper, but paper and how the human body recovers after that magnitude of a travel is two different things. These guys, this league has never experienced this before, and to do that, right? I just. And then give the Niners an early start on Sunday. Like, it's just, but the Rams got a Monday night, but they're going to New York, which essentially, if they had any brain in their head, well, no, they would have to. I don't even know. I think they're trying to stretch. And believe me, I know what it's about. The NFL is all about money. They can give a shit about player safety, because if they truly, really cared about player safety, they would expand the rosters, make them bigger, and that's it. And that's how you deal with player safety. You're not running these damn guys into the ground.
And introduce a second bye week. You keep adding fucking games, and you won't give another bye week. It doesn't make any sense. You've added an extra playoff game, and you've added another regular season game, and you won't give these teams another bye week. It's fucked up. Let's just call it a spade a spade.
Well, you got to realize something, right? The more the reason why they won't do it is because now the more. If you expect, like, If you expand the rosters, that's going to cost them more money in the long run with pensions, right? Because I think if you do 5 years or 4 years, you get some type of a pension, maybe not top, tier, but you get something for being in the league. I don't know how their financial ramifications with retirement pensions work, but I mean, if you're so worried about this, especially with a trip like this, you should up the rate. If this is what you want to do, you want to start expanding, you have to up the roster spots. You have to up the roster spots on the official roster, and then you have to up the game day rosters, right? It's not costing the league nothing to pay for travel for these teams. These guys are renting 777 jets. They could fit over 400 people on these jets, 500 people. Even if you jump the team if you keep the team at a 90-man roster and you're allowed to dress 75, do you know what that would do to the quality of the game? You know how much money Goodell's going to bring in off this Australia game? You know how much money?
I can only imagine.
Okay. It's sickening. The NFL has become the biggest, most money-hungry organization that I've ever seen in my life, and don't give a shit about anything but money. And what shows you is how they keep jacking this cap up so they can charge more money. They can charge more for this. They can do things like this. Oh, we're playing to pay. The players are getting paid. Look at this. The cap keeps going up over here. Yeah, believe me, you're making money hand over fist on the back end of it. It's sad, man. It's so sad.
Yep, I agree. I do. I didn't mean to cut you off or get you
No,
riled up.
you're fine. It's not that. It's just, I don't know. Like, people see it as whining and crying and bitching. Bro, you do that trip. Like you. Like not you. I'm just saying, if you think it's bitching and whining and trying, bro, I'm tired as shit when I go to Mexico. It's a 3.5-hour flight. Well, we went to California to watch that Pittsburgh game, bro. My ass crashed in the fucking floor in the hotel room because I was so damn tired. I couldn't even move. I was exhausted, and that's 3 hours back on a 6-hour flight. Imagine going all the way to. Oh God.
Yeah. I feel you, bro.
It's crazy, but I mean, listen. There's a lot of positive going around with this team, other than the schedule with this prick Goodell. They assembled a pretty decent roster this year. They addressed all their main issues that they thought that they had. Granted, not up to some par for some people, but there's a lot of positives going on. Bosa seems like he's ready to come back and make a push. He seems like he's pretty much healthy with his work ethic. I would never question that. Kyle seems locked in and excited, which is a major positive. And that's it. I mean, I think we had a pretty solid offseason. On paper, I think we did pretty decently. Again, it's reiterated on paper. We'll see. We'll see what this trip brings us, going to Melbourne, Australia for week 1, and then see how they respond in week 2 versus the Dolphins. Excited for the season and looking forward to it, and that's pretty much all I got. I'm going to bed.
All right, man. Get some rest. Give my regards to Kim and the kids, man. And again, I'm really, really happy that you're getting back to work soon, man. I'm so happy about that. I love hearing that. So,
got it, man. I gotta. Even though I'm not 100%, I gotta do it.
Great episode for Tony, man. Also, Diggy Zua pronunciation. Back to work, man. This is good stuff. And we found out that Nick Bosa is on pace for week 1 return, man.
And Mike's over here trying to tell me he tore his patella with no surgery. I was like, damn, I should have went to that doctor.
My bad. It was the plantaris.
My scar is this big on my knee, literally this big.
Yeah. Oh man, Tony was like, "Wait, what? Nope. My bad. I fucked that up. Plantaris is what I tore.
That patella keeps that shit intact."
Yeah, man. My bad. All right, man. Go get some rest, man. I'm gonna bring Christian McCaffrey in, and I'm gonna rock out the rest of the way, man.
All right.
Be safe, bro. Good talking to you.
Later.
All right, faithful, man. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. Christian McCaffrey's up next. Let's go.
Christian, what do you think so far of Kalon Black?
He's been great, man. Yeah, he's been everything you would want in a rookie. Super attentive in meetings, does everything right, has a bunch of talent, and complements our room really well.
How's offseason been up to this point for you?
It's been great. Offseason's been great. Same old. To be honest, yeah, a lot of the same stuff, but it's been an awesome offseason.
In the at the owners' meetings, Kyle talked about like some of the areas where the offense, the running game in particular, can improve on that average per game. He talked a little bit about scheme too, that there were some issues. But when you look back on last season, how do you feel you guys can take that next step to get that average per rush up to where it had been?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just focusing on what I can do and what I can do better. And I think, breaking tackles, hitting those long ones, that's something I can get better at. That I've been focusing on all off season is just getting the big play back. That's the things I can focus on. You can't always control what happens in a play, but if the hole's there, you got to hit it, and you got to make the 8 to 10 yard runs, the big ones. And if it's not there, you got to do everything you can to get 4 or 5 or get 3 or 4, whatever it is. And so I try to keep my mindset simple and just focus on what I can do to be the best back I can be.
Were there instances last year when you look back at film and go, man, there was one there.
Man, every year there's after every game, you're always, rarely are you like, yeah, that was awesome. You watch a tape and we're a lot of us are our hardest in the big playback. That's breaking tackles, hitting those long.
I'm rewinding because this was a great question, man. The run game was not good last year.
In particular, can improve on that average per game. He talked a little bit about scheme too, that there were some issues. But when you look back on last season, how do you feel you guys can take that next step to get that average per rush up to where it had been?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just focusing on what I can do and what I can do better. And I think, breaking tackles, hitting those long ones, that's something I can get better at. That I've been focusing on all off season is just getting the big play back. That's the things I can focus on. You can't always control what happens in a play, but if the hole's there, you got to hit it, and you got to make the 8 to 10 yard runs, the big ones. And if it's not there, you got to do everything you can to get 4 or 5 or get 3 or 4, whatever it is. And so I try to keep my mindset simple and just focus on what I can do to be the best back I can be.
See, great question. And depending on how you view his response, you're going to hate it or you're going to love it. Right now, me personally, I hate it. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate it, right? Blocking was a major, major issue for the 49ers run game last year. Now, that's not to say that the blocking was worse than any other year in particular. But last year, teams knew that the Niners didn't have much as far as weapons in the passing game, right? And when the passing game was good, the run game was good. I keep talking about this Colts game. Yes, it was the Niners' highest output as far as offensive production. Brock Purdy had 5 touchdowns in that game. Put up 48 points in that game, right? But what was working for that team in that game, right? It was the fact that the passing game was so good that they had to respect it, and then you had some running lanes. And then when you had all these injuries at the wide receiver position, and you got Jawan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne as your top wide receivers for different portions of the season, you didn't have much going on the outside, right? There were different things that Christian McCaffrey could have said, but I didn't like it. I prefer him to point out, we invested in some speed and some weapons at the wide receiver position to open up things, and if the passing game can get going, then the run game can get going, and we feed off of each other. When the run game is great, then the passing game is better because they focus on taking away the run. Or when the pass game is good, the run game is better because they focus on taking away the pass and they don't stack the box, right? He could have said something along those lines. So that's why I hate his response. But the reason you love his response is because he didn't throw anybody under the bus. I can break tackles. I can take a lot of those 8 and 10-yard runs and turning them into 20 and 30-yard runs like I did just a couple seasons before. I do understand that, but Christian, you shouldn't have to do that. And so there was a way you could have answered it somewhere in the middle, but you were just a little too PC for my preference, a little too buddy-buddy with everybody. And listen, this is the time of year where I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm Christian McCaffrey. I'm well-established. People know how I get down when I can, right? You don't have to coddle these guys' feelings, right? And it maybe wasn't even a schematic thing. It could have just been about the injuries at the wide receiver position. It could have been about the injuries to the tight end position. You know, those are all things that he could have said, well, the first thing we got to do is get healthier. He didn't even say that. It was, I can break more tackles. I can make longer runs. I can hit the hole when it's there. And even when the hole, now he did say even when the hole's not there, he did that little thing. He did that little thing. Well, when the hole's not there, I can try to still break a tackle. I can try to be a little bit better. Yeah, but the hole's got to be there. Now, it's tough for the hole to be there when you're going against 7 and 8 man fronts because they know that you can't pass the ball. That goes back to health. We got to get healthier. We got to do this. But he didn't want to throw the strength and conditioning staff under there. He didn't want to throw the players that got hurt under the bus. He didn't want to throw the coaching staff under the bus. You can give us come on, man. Come on, man. We've been yearning for this. And here I am with you under the microscope. And I'm going to dissect everything that you're saying and not saying. So let's go, man. We got our first comment here from Sean. Sean, man, good to see you, brother. I know this isn't a paid one, but I'm still going to give you the little ching-ching, all right? He says, Mike, Christian says he's taking my job if long ones are 6 yards. He can do it. Every other game as a patch catcher. Did you mean pass catcher? He's great. His running is sus. Mike, do you know God loves you, bro? GTA Tony is gone. He is gone. And I do know God loves me. So I have a special relationship with that person, all right, or that being, I should say. But, yeah, man, so, Sean, thank you for the comment, man. 21 months being a member, I do appreciate it, man. But, yeah, like, you know, he's complimenting Black and the things that he can do. I don't think Christian is saying he's taking his job. I don't think you think that either. I think you're just trying to have some fun with me and trying to stir the pot a little bit. I'm not going to let you get me riled up because I personally am not sold on Kalon Black yet. I see people slowly starting to say, oh, maybe he's better than this and then maybe he's not Mike. Nope. I got excited about the Tyrion Davis prices. I got excited about the Williams kid that didn't ever touch the field for the Niners, Joe Williams or whatever the fuck his name was. His name was. There's been too many Trey Sermons. There's been too many guys I went back and watched the film and got excited about. This guy's film didn't excite me like any of those guys. Any of them. Nope. Christian don't think his job is on the line at all. Not buying it, not taking the bait, Sean. You're not getting me, man. You're going to have to try again. But it is good to see you, brother. It is good to see you. Yeah, Trey Sermon, 3rd-round pick. Tyrion Davis-Price, 3rd-round pick. These guys didn't do anything for the Niners. I'm not Kalon Black. I like Trey Sermon's tape. I'm an Ohio State fan. I like Tyrion Davis-Price's tape. Bro. I like Carlos Hyde's tape. Kyle couldn't wait to get rid of him. Nope. It's not happening. Sorry. I'm no longer getting excited about these running backs that they draft. It's not happening. It's not going to happen, Niner Faithful. Sorry, not sorry. I got to see it, and I need to see it consistently before I get excited. And you know the crazy part about the 49ers, bro? You want to know the crazy part about the 49ers and their relationship with running backs? When the faithful do fall in love with running backs, they get rid of them. They move on from them. When the faithful think that they see some promise in a running back, they move on from them. That's what they do. What happened to Mason? Gone. Guerendo had a little flash in the pan. Gone. He's still on the roster. Gone. They don't do anything with the running backs that we like, and they don't do anything with the running backs that they like, that they draft high. I'm not going to do it. I'm not getting my emotions invested in this kid. Not going to happen. I don't care if his first 2 games in a row he's got 120 yards each. I don't care. I'm not getting excited for him. Not going to happen. I know how this team does running backs. I know how Kyle feels about Christian McCaffrey. I went crazy when Kyle called the play in the postseason and called the timeout because Christian McCaffrey wasn't on the field. I went crazy when I saw that in the playoff game. I went back and I watched the Colts game this past week. And you know what happened in the Colts game? In the game that we put up 48 points, Kyle did the same thing again. He called a play. They go to the lineup, and Kyle looked to his right, and he saw Christian McCaffrey, and you could see it. They showed his mouth. This is not me exaggerating. I'm not making anything up. He says, "Oh, fuck." And he runs down the sideline and calls a timeout. He looks to the referee, hey, timeout, timeout. He waved him down. Hey, timeout. He called the timeout because he looked to his right, and he saw Christian McCaffrey was right there next to him. He didn't know. He called the timeout. They take the break. They come back from the break. Christian McCaffrey is in the huddle. Now, I will say this. As much as I hate seeing that happen, the next play was a touchdown. The next play was a touchdown. They snapped the ball. Christian McCaffrey did a little hesitation thing like he was there in pass coverage, went right between the tackle and the guard on the right side, wide open, walked it in for the touchdown. I get it, but come on, bro. You couldn't do that with Robinson. You couldn't do that with anybody else. If they didn't spy Christian McCaffrey, they weren't going to spy Robinson. They weren't going to spy Guerendo. They weren't going to spy whoever the other running backs were that were up at the time. James or whoever. I don't know who it was. But, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I don't like that. I don't like it. I'm never going to like a coach panicking because one specific player is not on the field. Not putting a lot of confidence in your other running backs. Not putting a lot of confidence in your running backs coach and Bobby Turner. Why are they here? Why are they here? Why are they making the money they're making if you're not going to trust them because one specific player isn't on the field? Do you not trust in your development? I don't want to get into it too much more because I do like Christian McCaffrey. I love Christian McCaffrey, and I'm so grateful that the Niners traded for him. I really, really am. But I'm going to chill. Sean came back. Look, I knew he was going to try to get me. Sean's here again, man. Let me drop a bomb on this one here, man. Sean's got another super chat. He says, yeah, bro, but Black is fast. No, he's not. Buff and knows we failed many times before. Got to see CMC actually turn the corner in one time. CMC slower than your comments, LOL. Oh, because no one's typing. See, Sean's throwing shots at y'all now, not just me. Now, this is the Sean I like to see. Rile up the chat right now because I don't know who's watching right now. We might just be featured, and so it might just be pop-ups. It might not be anybody actually. I don't know if Niner Faithful is still here. I don't know if Howdy is still here. I don't know if Daniel Garcia is still here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if 404 Era is still in here. I don't know if Mr. Irrelevant is still here. I have no idea if Iowa Fall is still here. Is Retro Gaming still? I don't know, Sean. You put the pressure on them. I like that. I like that, man. Let's go. Let's go. Now, guys, I'm gonna reiterate. I'm not down on Black. I'm not. I'm just not getting excited about him. I refuse to get excited about him because even when we do, the Niners don't care and they let these guys go. They let them go. So, that's where I'm at right now. All right, and here he's doing it again. Here, I got this one. Gringo. Oh man, there are two soups for money, super chats for money. Don't play me, Gringo. Oh wait, so when they do Sean, when they do this one, this is a paid one also? I didn't know that this was for money. I thought it was like members get like a freebie because it's their monthly anniversary or whatever. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a paid one. All right, my bad. I like how he did the Gringo too. That's funny, man. He spelled it like a Gringo. All right, man. Let me get back to the show, man. Sean, wake him up in here, man. Wake him up in here. Look at Ali with the jokes. Oh, snap. Y'all done made Ali wake up. Wake it up in here. Kalon White. Kalon Black, baby. And he's buff. You heard what he said. You heard what he said. Black and buff. You heard what he said. All right, let's go.
This was last year when you look back at film and go, man, there was one there. There was one there.
Man, every year, there's after every game, you're always, rarely are you like, yeah, that was awesome. You watch a tape and we're a lot of us are our hardest critics, and I think that's a good way to be, and because there's always something you can get better at.
Conversation obviously about the workload getting lighter or whatever. I know you kind of talked about that, but are there pros and cons for you when you think about if it gets lighter or if it stays the same?
It's fine. I've been dealing with those questions for 9 years. It feels like I think the workload in our sport is really monitored in practice, not in games. We play 17 regular season games a year, and everybody's livelihoods are on the line. And so I always say on Sunday, you got to do whatever it takes to win. And that's not a coach's job. You don't tell a 3-point shooter, you only get 6 threes today. It's so much of it is rhythmic, and it's my job to put my body in the best position I can to go out there and play. And I think everything else can be monitored during the week or with a practice schedule with certain ways you train, whatever it may be. But when it comes to game days, I like to think prepare yourself to play in every snap.
Are you participating in any of the team stuff now, or is that on hold until camp?
Yeah. You guys came on the day I was not going.
Missing on the side.
Yep.
Staying in shape.
Yeah, I'm practicing, just not today. Yeah.
Are there things that you can do at this point in the off season, knowing that 16-hour flight is ahead of you, and what is your mind already racing as far as how you can treat your body on that flight to Australia and that flight back?
My mind is not racing right now on that. I think just putting your body in the best position you can for camp, and so have a good camp, finish OTAs out really strong, and go, all that stuff will get addressed that week.
What's it been like having Mike Evans here?
Been awesome, man. He's such a presence. You see him in the huddle. He's got every attribute you would want in a receiver, and it's definitely not a shock when you see it live in person why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's cool to have him a part of our team.
I know that George had some recruiting pitches to him. Were you involved in any of those?
I wasn't involved. I didn't get the invite, but if I did, I would have definitely. He's been somebody just being in Carolina, I had to go against a lot, and it was just a nightmare. So not just in the pass game, in the run game too. So having him on our side is great.
Last offseason, you guys had the big roster exodus, and Kyle kind of brought you guys together as veterans. There was just uncertainty about what you were going to be. What did it mean for you this offseason then to see the team kind of back in, adding veterans, adding guys that can potentially help you win right now?
Awesome. Yeah, I think when you see the guys on our roster, you see them around the building, it feels competitive in the best ways. Getting a guy like Dre Greenlaw back, just the energy that brings to the locker room, to our team. Adding a guy like Mike Evans, seeing some new faces, some old faces, it's feels like home.
What were your impressions of Jordan James last season and also this offseason?
Jordan's been great, always been great. He's another guy that just does everything right, can run any scheme. He's gotten a lot better in the pass game, and is explosive and can really do it all. So another guy that complements the room really well.
Kyle told us about Isaac's injury. Have you been able to talk with him and maybe give him some advice, lift him up a little bit? It's, I'm sure, a tough time.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's sometimes this game is super unfortunate. He was working his butt off all off season, and sometimes it's that freak stuff that happens where you strain something training in the weight room and something like, it's unfortunate, but he's got the best attitude. He's coming in every single day with a smile, still working just as hard, and it's not a season-ending injury. He'll be back, so it's also perspective. As much as he's down, he knows that he will be back for the season. So I think there's also some enthusiam there.
A couple more for Christian.
I would imagine that Caleb's like.
That was a great. Hold on. Let me highlight this really quick. Not the why he got to be black, Sean. You cut it out. And thank you for waking up the chat. I needed that. I like that. That was a phenomenal. That was great to hear. That was great to hear. It's not a season-ending injury. He's showing up every day, still doing what he can do, and he's recovering, and he's got a smile on his face. He knows he's going to be back. He knows there's an opportunity. I love hearing that. No one asked Kyle if Guerendo was there. Was he rehabbing with the team? Is he out somewhere? How's he doing? Kyle said it happened a month ago, and they just let it go. I always look for an underdog or a storyline to cheer for. People wrote off Guerendo last season. People said that this guy he didn't have the patience, couldn't hit a hole. If you ask me what running back I'm hoping for, not named Christian McCaffrey the most, it's not James. It's not Kalon Black. It's Isaac Guerendo now. I like a good underdog story. When everybody's counting you out, you got the injury and all that stuff. Let's go. Now, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm all in on Isaac Guerendo in the 2026-2027 NFL season. Let's go, man. Show the team that they messed up drafting another guy, getting last year's rookie, giving him burn over you and all that stuff. Let's go. Show them that you can hit the hole and that you're explosive. I don't want to talk about no Patrick Taylor. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. All right. Sean is back at it one more time. What can I play for Sean here? I got one for you.
Excuse me, bitch.
This is Max, Sean's GS. What's GS, Sean? Sean's, it's not alter ego. What's GS? What do you think about Evans? I hate that you asked me this question. I hate that you asked me this question with a super chat. And I hate that it's you, Sean, that asked me this question because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I like Mike Evans, and I like his career. I don't know what I think about him as a Niner. I think people are expecting Evans to come in here and really be this difference maker, and I hope he is. Tony made a really interesting comp earlier today, and he talked about Pierre Garçon. Good side, maybe Niner FIFA. I don't know what Sean meant. I don't know. I got to find my decoder ring and hold it up to remember the Cracker Jack box? You get the little red thing and you hold it over the map or whatever. And all right, anyways. He made the comparison to Pierre Garçon, that veteran presence that was going to come in, calm everybody down, keep everybody level-headed when you're dealing with a lot of rookies and new guys in the system for the first time. But Evans doesn't bring that to the table. Not that he's not a veteran, not that he's not a leader. That's not what I'm saying. But he doesn't bring the knowledge of the system here. Evans is going to be learning just as much as Stribling. He's going to be learning just as much as Cowling, right? He should be behind Cowling when it comes to knowledge in the system. He should be behind Watkins and Bergen and Pearsall. Come on, we're not going to do this all night long. He should be behind all these guys. And so he doesn't even, in my opinion, possess that Pierre Garçon quality. I got to get this. This is my carbon monoxide detector. This is what happens when you smoke hookah and keep lighting coals and not letting oxygen in. So, all right, let me let Christian McCaffrey get back to it. Thank you for that super chat, Sean. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know what to expect from him. I hope he plays well. I hope we get something good out of him. And I hope he's who the faithful want him to be. I hope he's healthy. But I'm not expecting a 1,000-yard season from him, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. If we get one, then great. That's excellent. But I don't know that we are going to get one. So, all right. Oh, Sean's grandson. Sorry, baby. I'm about to unplug it. Don't worry. All right. Back to the show. Here we go.
Better at or pay attention to as he gets consistent.
A couple more for Christian.
I would imagine that Kalon Black comes in and he wants to kind of pick your brain of things that he can kind of maybe get better at or pay attention to as he gets consistent with the system here. Has that happened at this point?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, he's eager to learn. I think the best tool he has right now is Bobby T. Our meetings, the same coaching points I'm getting, he's getting, but he's somebody that's so eager to learn. And so we've had a couple conversations outside of practice on different things that I'm seeing, but what I see in him already, and it's been just, a few weeks, is he can pick things up so quickly. It doesn't take him long. Like once he does something or once you tell him something, he knows how to correct it, knows how to fix it, and he's a true football player. And so as he just continues to be at practice and get these reps, he'll learn all this stuff on his own as well. But yeah, we have such a great room. Our running back room, I got to say, is just it's so much fun to be a part of because we all feed off each other's energy. We all have healthy competition and support each other in a lot of ways.
Maybe not. Just wondering if coming off of a championship like you just got, do they usually, well, in your experience, guys that come in, rookies that come in off of a...
Hold on. So GS stood for grandson. Does Pop know that you're making super chats? Do you know that Pop has to pay for that when you do that? You better stop doing that, man. Don't get us in trouble. He's 13 years old. Don't get us in trouble, buddy. Don't get us in trouble. But I'm not down on Mike Evans. I just don't know where he is at this point in his career. I don't know that Mike Evans is going to come in here and be a superstar. And I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I know I said that I don't expect 1,000 yards from him, but in 17 games, what is that, like 58 yards a game or something like that? Where's my calculator at? Let's do some math. Here. 58 might be a little under where I want to be, but 1,000 divided by 17. Oh, shoot, look at me. Look at me pretending to be smart. 58.8. Evans can do that. He can get 58 yards a game. So maybe he will be a 1,000-yard guy. 1,000 yards is not as hard as what it used to be. It's not the same accomplishment. I just don't know what to expect from him. Now that I know that it's his grandson, I didn't have to be as honest as I was. See, now you're going to have people thinking I hate Mike Evans. All right, let's get back to it.
Situation like that versus just coming in out of college, is there a difference in their mindset?
I don't think there's just those two kinds of players. I think it's more individual than that.
You hear the news that Mike Evans is coming to your offense. Do you immediately think about how he can be used, how Kyle Shanahan can use him?
I get excited. Yeah, definitely. I think question. It's, especially in our system and a player like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you would think. You get excited for sure.
One more. How long did it take you to kind of overcome the way the season ended and just that bitter taste in your mouth? Yeah, I
mean, each year I never won a Super Bowl, so I've always been pretty bitter after the year, and that's football. That's the NFL. I think you move on. You don't ever really get over it, and I think that's what keeps you going is that itch and that hunger to keep going. And you look back on the things and that you did or didn't do, and you correct the mistakes, capitalize on your strengths, see where you can get better, and that just fuels you all off season. So I think our team has that same mindset too. We know where we want to go, and that's the mindset.
I love that answer right there by Christian McCaffrey. Round of applause. Let me explain to you guys, right? I've never won a Super Bowl. I always have a bitter taste in my mouth when the season is over. Always. You guys think because we were injured last year I got more bitter? Like, what? You think because we lost the Super Bowl twice that wasn't bitter? No, it was still bitter. Talk to him, CMC. Let him know how you really feel, bro. Injuries are the injuries. We got to play. Right? Let me tell you guys something about the Niners real quick. Hold on. Let me get them off the screen real quick. I want you guys to look into my glasses. I got a sty on my eye, so that's why I have the sunglasses on. So you can't let you guys look in my eye right now. But let me tell you guys something about the 49ers. Let me tell you something about what Kyle Shanahan talked about a lot earlier in this show. We have a standard here. We have expectations here. And what those standards and expectations aren't to be confused with other teams. Our season starts week 19 of the NFL season. That's when our season starts. Who's going to be our opponent? And can we win 3 or 4 games? I don't care who you are in this 49ers fan base. You expect a postseason appearance. Don't lie to me and tell me you don't. Don't. When you hear Dre Greenlaw is back, Fred Warner is back, Nick Bosa is back, George Kittle is back, Brock Purdy is back. When you hear those, Trent Williams is back. When you hear those names, when you hear that those guys are healthy, now Kittle obviously being the outlier with all the names I just said, expectations come in. And then when you start doing research on the pieces that they acquired in Oso Digizua, when you start stopping to think about who they drafted in guys like Stribling and Romello Height, hell, some of you guys even got excited about Kalon Black. You're not going to look at this roster and say, man, I just hope that we can, let's hope for 500 season this year, even though there's no such thing anymore. Let's hope we can get 8 or 9 wins, just see how it goes, and we're in the middle of a rebuild. Y'all aren't saying that. The 49ers season starts week 19. It's a fact. It's a fact. That's where it starts for us. Anything less than that is a disappointment. And I'll be honest with you. If you're going home in week 19, you're disappointed there too. Last year was the first time the 49ers didn't make it to the NFC Championship in all the years Kyle Shanahan's been here when they make it to the postseason. The first time. It was the first time. We found a way to spin it and be positive about it. Oh, man, this is, a very injury-ridden season, and, it wasn't what we wanted it to be. We found a way to try to be positive. Sure. We did. We worked hard to find those reasons. We worked hard to find those excuses. But the truth of the matter is, we were still disappointed. And to lose to Seattle? Whew. Oh, man, we were disappointed. That's a fact. Don't tell me, I was just happy to be in the playoffs. No. Because even with all those injuries and how Seattle had just worked us 2 weeks before that, we knew it was going to be a dogfight, but we still had that little glimmer of hope. And that's why they call us the faithful. It's exactly where we get the moniker from, because we felt like there was a chance, just a slim chance, that we could advance to that NFC Championship game. We fell short. We got embarrassed too. But right now, you take that roster and add all those names that I said at the beginning of this rant, y'all are going to be like, oh yeah. Oh, we got more than just a shot. We're on our way. We're on our way. That's the truth. That's the truth. So I'm like Christian McCaffrey. Got a bitter taste in my mouth at the end of every season because we didn't hoist that 6th Lombardi. I'm not here for the 1 to 18. I couldn't care less. Now they are important because we have to play those to get to 19. But that's not the standard. That's not the goal. That's just the beginning. Weeks 1 through 18 are practice. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right. Niner Faithful has a super chat here. I believe this is his first one for the day, so that means you get the ching ching. Where we at, baby? Do you want to see the Niners add any veteran free agents? Honestly, no. I like where our roster is. With the George Kittle injury, there was a tight end that I was hoping for, David Njoku, but he signed. So no. Right now, I'm good. I do wish we would strengthen that tight end room somehow, but I don't know what they would do to strengthen it. Right now, let's see. Spotrac.com, NFL free agents. Let's see. Let me see if there's any tight ends available right now. Let me see. David Njoku was the last one that I was looking for. Free agent types, position, tight end, and available. Jonnu Smith, Taysom Hill, Zach Ertz, Will Disley, Darren Waller, John Fitzpatrick, Pharaoh Brown, Mercedes Lewis. Yeah, no, bro. Nope. That's the only position that I would want the Niners to possibly add somebody to, and I'm not going to hold you. I'm good. I'm good on this list. None of these guys. None of them. Nope. Mason Pline, Tucker Fisk, Trey Jackson. I'm sorry, Tyree Jackson. Sorry. Donald Parham. Nope. None of them. I'm good. Let's run it with what we got. So, no, there aren't any free agents I want the Niners to sign. I know people want us to get another pass rusher and all that stuff. Nick Bosa's coming back week 1. We got Romello Height. I'm good. I understand what you're saying with the free safety, but I'm not quite there yet. I want to see what Raheem Morris can do with what we got here. I want to see what he can do with her. So we'll see. All right, let's get back to the show. The guy I've been waiting for this whole time is here at the podium, man. We've kept him waiting long enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the return of the real 53. Yeah, I'm throwing shots at Bowman. Yeah, I'm throwing shots. Do I have gunshots? I don't think I have that. I'm throwing shots at Bowman. The real 5'3" is back, even though he wears 5'7". But you know what I'm saying. He's the better complement to it. Never mind. Forget it. Y'all not going to get it because it was Patrick Willis and then Bowman, and it was Fred Warner and Green. All right, never mind. Let's go. Big play, Dre, ladies and gentlemen.
What was it like just walking through those doors again when you came back to the 49ers?
Yeah, just unbelievable feeling, just missing the guys, missing the organization, missing just everybody, all the workers in the organization, the coaches. Yeah, I mean, it's just a sense of feeling like home. That's what I kind of got.
After Denver did what they did you immediately, I mean, was this the number one spot? Was there ever another team that entered your mind as far as where you'd play this season?
No, it wasn't, no. I didn't think about nowhere else, honestly. I mean, it could have been like if it wasn't a possibility, but I mean, I was coming back here, so.
Like, you're in practice, you're standing next to Fred, watching the back of the defense. What was that like, just being next to him again?
Just feels like normal. I mean, just to be beside a guy like Fred, just always locked in. Just his love for the game. I mean, it just radiates throughout the whole team. So his leadership and just his voice. That's the main thing. Like, he's the voice on the defense, and you got somebody like that just confident right next to you. I mean, it just kind of settles you down, and then. Yeah, so it just feels like normal.
Okay, all right. So far, 0 for 3. I don't like the questions. Now, these were the mandatory questions. Fred. Dre, what's it feel like to be back? Did you consider any other teams? What's it like to be back next to Fred? You got him out the way. Let's get to the real questions now, please. Please, no more fluff questions, please.
Watching from center field with Fred, and that's where John Lynch, as a former safety, also likes to watch practice. What do you glean from that angle?
I was actually watching from the side, and Fred was like, "Hey, man, you get a little different view back here." So I was like, "All right." So I went back there because he looked at the view. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just being behind, it's not much different, I guess, than being on side. But it gives you a different perspective. Like, I don't know, you just kind of see the whole picture rather than just kind of looking at your position group. You kind of get just a big visual of the defense and just kind of see where everybody at their spots and just kind of fill it out from there.
When you left, Kyle and John had made an effort to fly to try to talk you into staying. Can you explain just what your reasoning was for leaving? And throughout last year, were there times where you regretted your decision, or was it just kind of the way things played out?
That's a good question. I think the toughest part about the whole decision was the fact that I just already had committed. Obviously just that process is a tough process for both sides. So, everybody feels a certain way or this or that. And for me, it was just I was already committed to him. So for me, it was hard to say yes to this person. And then, although this is where I belong, I've made that commitment, especially in that position where I'm not on a team. So it's tough. And but everybody was kind of, in the loop, but not exactly in the loop about what was going on. So, I'm thankful that everything did happen the way it did because I'm here now. No telling what happens if I take that offer then and then. We all know that last year was a tough year, so you just never know how it would have went. But I'm happy to play football and I'm happy to be here where my feet at and play for the 49ers. So that's all that matters.
How tough was last year, and were there times during last year you're like, boy, I wish I was on San Francisco?
Last year was tough. Last year was real tough. Real tough.
I don't like this line. Okay, it was an interesting question, but now you're doubling down and you want him to say, "I should have never left." You can't force a person to say something that they don't want to say, right? Dre earned the right to try to be the guy on a defense. Let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. He earned that opportunity. All right? You're trying to get him to say that he wishes he never left. You're trying to get him to say that he regrets it. Like, all right, enough. Enough. Like, you're trying to pin him into a corner, and it's not right. It's not right. I'm not opposed to asking what you think is a good question or a tough question and not letting them weasel their way out of it. But he didn't regret it. He said that he's happy that he made the decision. One, he's a man of his word. I made a commitment. I'm going to go there now. And two, things happen for a reason, and I'm back where I was supposed to be. You're not going to that's it. That's it. I feel like you're trying to get him to, like, admit, oh, I messed up and I shouldn't have done it.
Last year, and were there times during last year you're like, boy, I wish I was on San Francisco?
Last year was tough. Last year was real tough. Real tough. Yeah, but it's just part of ball. It's part of life. Life ain't never been just going the way you think it's gonna go or going the way you want it to go. But I had to learn a lot about myself last year, and then just take a step back and I didn't get a chance to play football a lot. So I'm just grateful to be able to be healthy right now to play football. But you definitely have times when things weren't going good that you kind of felt like, damn. But like I said, I don't think none of it was a mistake. I'm going to say that I'd do it again, but I'll let it play out just the same because, like I said, like I'm just always thankful to be where my feet are, and there's no telling where I'd be now if that thing went the way it did last year. And it gives you a different perspective on how much the building really means, how much the people inside the building means to you, how much, that passion you play for isn't just for the love of the game, but it's for the love of the building as well. So, it just gives you a lot of, a little bit of reality and just, okay, why do you play the game of football? And so it was some hard times, but at the end of the day, yeah.
On that perspective, you think about yourself when you were here before last year and now yourself here. Does it seem like it's two different eras? And if so, what is the difference coming back with the 49ers that you just mentioned, the difference in perspective that you were able to get?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a different perspective, but, it is because, after you go to another organization, you just kind of realize, all the things that you missed, and you miss with the guys here and just the everyday stuff, after practice, talking to them, the guys on the team, just being in the locker room with the guys on the team. So, it's a different perspective as far as like, you're a lot more thankful for,
the
what
camaraderie.
you had. And, I'm sorry, what was the rest of your question?
I guess what I'm asking is, does it feel like there is more of an emphasis now that you're back in the building to do things? I know you were an energy guy.
Dixon, you're going to eat those
is there
words.
more of an emphasis to be even more of that, even more vocal, even more knowledgeable for the younger rookies here? Is there a difference, or are you coming back kind of the same as the way you were here before?
Yeah, you're never the same, but I ain't got to do nothing more than what I normally do, and that's just play football. I've never been a talkative guy, a loud guy that's doing all this, and that's Fred's job. I just repeat whatever he says. So, that's never really been my role. My role, was to go out there and just have fun and play football, and I think that kind of just take care of itself naturally. Whatever passion and whatever, all that comes from just being myself and playing the game. So it's not nothing more that I got to do or, all I got to do is get the call, play ball.
I like what he's saying here. Again, it's all right. This question was better. What'd you learn, and did it change anything for when you came back? And I like that his answer was no. When I left, I was playing a certain way. I had a certain role. Now that I'm back, that's still my job. Fred calls the plays. I get into my position, and I just go play ball, right? And that's cool. No, I don't need to be anything different than what I was. They brought me back for what I was, not what I can be, what I could be, to do something different. He was a leader on this defense. He might not have been the Mike, but he was still a leader. He led by example. He led by play, right? And Dixon, oh, man, you're going to eat your words. And I can't wait for you to come back and say, I was wrong. He's the man. Nothing about the way this man plays football says he's washed. Nothing about the way this man performs on the field says he's washed. His body breaking down is something completely different. Injuries, completely different. I can't argue with you there. But not washed. He's still young. He's healthy now. And the ability, the mindset, the desire, it's all there still. Everything that made people love Dre Greenlaw, it's all still there. It's all still there. Can't wait for you to eat your words. All right, let's get back to it.
There's a high standard here.
For sure.
Did you kind of recognize that a little bit more?
1,000% is different here for sure.
Struggled to rush the passer last year. I know your former team last year, the Broncos, set the NFL record for sacks. Is there anything maybe while off the field you learned, just as the defense as a whole, like getting more sacks, interceptions, takeaways?
I mean, I just learned that it's just, some defenses work better for these people and some defenses work better for these people. And, that defense is set up for a great D-line to go and dominate. And, yeah, so, I mean, I didn't learn no pass rusher moves, but, yeah, I mean, just seeing the difference between the defenses and how they operate, how this defense and a 4-down operate versus 5-down. It's a lot of differences. But, you got to have D-line for both of those schemes to get what you want done.
Dixon, I see you. He said the question was, did he have any growth since he left? And he said no, same guy. I completely disagree. I don't think that's what the question was, and I don't think that was his answer. He talked about growth. He might not have answered it with the way you wanted him to, but the growth was I went, I got some experience, and now I'm back here, right? They wanted him to be the Mike linebacker over there. I went, I tried to do it, but I didn't get a chance to play a lot. I wasn't on the field a lot. We can't say that it was a failed experiment. We could say that he got injured and didn't live up to the contract. We can say that, right? But now that he's back here, that's not his role here. He didn't say I didn't learn anything. He said I'm grateful for the lessons. He didn't say he didn't learn anything. Now, if you're asking, can you apply anything that you learned there and bring it here, that's a different question. And maybe you'll get a different answer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe learn to stay healthy. Oh, it's a mindset to stay healthy now. So now you can read a book and that's going to make you stay healthy. What are you saying? What are you saying? Just say that you don't like the guy because he's always injured. Like, what does that mean? Maybe learn to stay healthy. Is there a way to do that? How do you do that? You don't think he stretches? You don't think he works out? You don't think he conditions? What exactly does your comment mean? So now I just think you're being a jerk. Now I think you're just taking shots. Just say you don't like the guy because he's never healthy. Just say you don't like that he's not available. But his play is his play. When he's out there, they called him Big Play Dre for a reason. Come on, man. That's weak.
Hey, what did you learn about yourself last year?
Oh, now here's your question. What did you learn about yourself last year?
That's a good question. A little bit of what I've already known, but when times get tough, I can't, it ain't nobody ever to point the finger at, and I don't blame nobody for the choices I make and for, the way things happen throughout the year. Never been that person to blame anybody, but it's kind of more of what I've already known, but honestly, just resilient as crap. Like, I mean, it's just I don't want to go into the season, but you know, just it didn't go the way I wanted to. But I know, you know, got the chance to play the last game versus the Patriots, and no matter how the season was going, you know, I always just showed up ready to go, ready to play, and give it my all, and yeah. So I mean, it's something I've already kind of known, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I've always been in an environment where I got my guys around me. So, you know, to be in an environment where ain't got nobody there, same as kind of how life has been, you know, and just continue to push and push and push and know that God gonna put me in a position where I need to be, and he ain't gonna set me somewhere where I'm supposed to be. And I believe that full-heartedly. So that's why I don't take nothing back. And yeah, I mean, something I've already known, but like, yeah, God is definitely, he got my back. So
He got clarity. That's what he learned. He got clarity. Now, maybe he can't say it the way that he's trying to say it, but I understand his answer here. It was reinforcement on what I thought I already knew. She said, what did you learn about yourself? It's kind of what I already knew, but he threw the word in there, resiliency. Right? That's what he learned. I learned not to give up. I learned not to tap out. Right? He's been injured before. Right? But the difference was having his guys there. You know what he learned? He learned the value of a support system. He said, I didn't have anybody there. He learned the value of a support system, of a team, and a front office that's behind him and sincerely wants what's best for him. He didn't have a support system there. That's what he learned. That support in my guys, my brothers, that's what I need. That's what I want. So how do you appreciate that? He gained appreciation for what he had. Sometimes you don't know what you got until it's gone. It's an old age adage. They've said it for anything and everything. They say it about relationships. They say it about physical possessions. You hated that car until you got a different one and realized that car, you know what, I should have kept the other one. This car is a lemon. Or this car, I like the features in the other one more. I thought this because it was newer, it was going to be better. No. That's exactly what he went through. That's exactly what he went through, right? His football mentality didn't change. I want to play football. My passion didn't change. He's always been passionate about the game. But I got a support system here. I've got my brothers. I got my guys with me. And he said very clearly, I didn't have any guys there. I didn't have any guys there.
Guys around me. So, you know, to be in an environment where ain't got nobody there, same as kind of how life has been, you know, and just continue to push and push and push and know that God gonna put me in a position where I need to be. And,
to be in an environment where I had nobody there.
I'm supposed to be. And
the coaches didn't fuck with him.
So that's why
the players didn't fuck with him.
Yeah, I mean, something I've already known, but like, yeah,
let's go, Dre.
Definitely, he got my back. So
going back to that standard, there's been some personnel changes here since you left. Do you feel like that standard is still intact, and do you feel like that window is still open for it to be as high as it has been?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, even when I was gone, I knew that San Fran was still going to have the capability of getting to the playoffs, getting to the Super Bowl, whatever is in store for them. And that's just because of the guys that's on the team. I mean, you got the best leadership, just great quality of guys here. You know, you don't get that too many places. And no matter what position it is, it's a leader somewhere and somebody that's, you know, you can look up to and say, okay, he's going to do his job. You know what I mean? So I think everything that's in store that we wanted, you know, 5 years down the road or 5 years before, we still got that same opportunity now. Like, I don't see no different. If anything, I see more of a, you know, opportunity for us to do it just because, like, we're veterans, we're vets, we've seen everything. And, yeah, I mean, it's just our turn to get it done, so.
Same speed. It seemed like your whole career, whether Arkansas, Denver, here, it means a lot to you, obviously. Where did that come from? Why does it mean so much to you?
I mean, yeah, just, you know, growing up, just like I said, just if I don't find a way to do it, then it ain't gonna get done. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't want to be the reason for it not getting done either. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've been through too much and come this far to get on that field and not give it everything I got. You know, there's nothing's promised, nothing's guaranteed. I understand that, you know, I can tweak an ankle or this or that, and who knows. So I don't know until like it's about every chance and every time I get to get on that field, like whether it's practice or whatever, just enjoying the moment and just playing hard as hell because you don't know when your next opportunity is gonna be.
So does Branch. Last one, Branch, go ahead.
Dre, a lot of guys with Achilles say, they can come back in 9 months or a year, but they actually don't feel like they're back to, like, really back until, I don't know, sometime after that. I don't know if that was your experience, but kind of when did you feel like, okay, I don't have to worry about the Achilles anymore, I don't feel this?
I kind of felt like that throughout the Denver season. It's when I kind of felt like, all right, like I kind of got adjusted to the normal, and then still felt like was still kind of filling it out, but I felt like I got adjusted to the normal, and then probably about midway to kind of once I got back and from rehabbing with the quad a little bit, I kind of felt like I could go and practice and I could warm up and I could do and I didn't got to worry about no pain or nothing. So I ain't got to worry about what shoes I got on, all that kind of stuff. So I'd say probably about last year is when I first felt like, for at least a week or two or multiple days in a row straight that I felt like, all right, I'm good to go now. So, and I've been feeling great in Achilles ever since. So.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
I like it. I like it a lot, man. I could not wait to hear from Dre Greenlaw. I'm very glad he got that opportunity. I know. We got Colton McKivitz, and I can't wait to hear from him. All right, it's enough applause. But that was good, man. That was good. I like Dre taking the role on, going out, getting that experience, and learning, hey, that wasn't for me. I know my role. I know what I'm meant to do. I know who I'm meant to be, and now I'm going to embrace it full-heartedly. I love that for Dre. Absolutely love that for Dre, man, and I'm glad to have him back. All right? I hope he can stay healthy. Dixon, that's what we agree on. I hope he can stay healthy. If we get 17 games of the regular season of Dre, I'm telling you guys, top 5 defense. I'm telling you guys something right now. Top 5 defense. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about, well, we got Fred, we didn't need Dre, Winters filled in, or whoever. Fred plays his best when Dre Greenlaw's next to him. It's going to bring out a whole different beast. It's going to bring out a whole different monster. The best linebacker duo in the NFL. I'm telling y'all. Y'all going to see it. And y'all are going to be glad he's back too. I can't wait. All right, Colton, let's go, baby. Let's go, big boy. Zoom out. Get that man's head in view. Who's the cameraman?
All you guys today, huh?
Colton, what are your impressions of the two offensive line draft picks? Both guys seem to have pretty good personalities. Have you picked up on that?
Yeah, I think they're good rookies. You never know how they are going to be until they get in the room and you see the draft process and how it works. And then both Carver and Enrique are, they fit well into our room. I think we're a lot better than what we have been before. So to add these two guys, and obviously you see that there's some explosiveness with both of them, and they're both going to be good fits for the room. So excited to see what they can do. And obviously it's just OTAs, so they're getting their first taste, but we'll see in camp.
Stood out in the pre-draft process for his speed and his athleticism. Is that something that's evident when you're out there at practice?
Oh yeah. You can see it. That's obviously he's a little raw, so when it comes to the football side of it, he's still going to learn and do that. But when it comes to a skill set and what a guy has available and tangible asset as a length, speed, quickness, all that stuff, you're not going to find a guy who has more.
Last year, you got a lot of questions about the offseason exodus of all the guys leaving, what you guys were kind of uncertainty going into this year. This offseason, you guys reinvest in veterans and guys who can help you win now. Just as an invested observer, what was it like this offseason, kind of getting back to adding and going for it again?
Yeah, it feels good. Every year we all know the goal is Super Bowl, and when you can add guys like, Mike and Kirk and, guys with real speed and can get open, obviously from a skill point. And then some of the guys we've added in our room as well. So, like when you got guys who are coming in and you see the front office working, putting guys in early, just even before the draft, it adds a little confidence that, obviously they know there's a bigger goal at hand, but then, you're seeing it backed up for us too. But, our goal is always the same.
Coming off of the year that you had, did you feel like that, you were maybe a little ahead of the curve in the reset, that what you guys did on the field maybe upped the urgency to get back to that, what the front office did?
Yeah, I don't think, there was a lot of hope for us last year, that's for sure. But, I think we rehashed everything, reset our goals as a team, what our rules were, who we were as a team, and then bringing along the young guys bought in, which was huge, I think there's a lot of confidence at the beginning of the season, but you saw guys like AC, Stout, like a lot of these guys came in, Michael, that came in and just played really well and bought in that, there's a standard here at the Niners, and they played up to that. So, you want to forget about the 24 season, but it was needed to get to last year. So to have those guys come in and buy in, now it's, their turn to talk to the rookies now, and also our job as well as leaders of the team to be like, hey, this is the standard we've set. And our goal is playoffs every year and Super Bowl, but, that wasn't even the calling card last year. It was just, see where we are as a team and go from there. So, yeah,
He is letting the cat out the bag. He is letting the cat out the bag. What's going on, Mark? I see you in here. Thank you for joining, brother. Good to see you. He's letting the cat out the bag. He said every year it's playoffs or Super Bowl. That's the goal. Last year was just, let's see what we got. Wow. I mean, wow. I don't think he was supposed to say that. And they still made it to the divisional round. They still made it to the divisional round. Roster's not what it was last year, guys. We know that. We lost a lot of good players. Dre Greenlaw's not here. You know what I'm saying? Debo's not here. Ayuk's not here. Let's just see what we got this year, guys. Let's just see how things go. Then you lose Nick Bosa early on. Let's just see how things, let's just see what we got. And you make it all the way to the divisional round, playing with the who's of the 49ers in the NFL. And now we've seen what we got. Let's tweak it a little bit, and let's get back to where we're supposed to be, playoffs and Super Bowl. Talk about that mindset, bro. I don't think you're supposed to tell them that it was just a let's see what we got last year, but the cat's out the bag, and you finish it strong and on the uptick with now we're back to where we're supposed to be. Let's get
playing with, house money, but also that's the goal in the long run.
I know last offseason you added the Vallejo Hill in your training regimen. Are you climbing a mountain this offseason or anything different that you're adding?
Mountains, Idaho, yeah. A little more elevation there, but no, I mean, I love training in the city, right off Front Street, Vallejo, Kearney, all of it, going up to Coy Tower, running the brick staircases over there. So it's cool to train and have a little more, city behind you feeling, at least in my training.
Colton, there's 5 new guys in the room, 3 free agents. You got a couple draft picks. Is this the deepest offensive line room that you've been in since you've been in the league?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I mean, 2021 we were pretty deep. We had a lot of older vets in that room, but I think this is from a overall standpoint for sure. I think a couple of us said we're better off at the beginning of this year than we have been, I think, since I've been here. So I think depth-wise, yeah, we have it. We have the skill guys in there as well for us. So you got guys who can run, and that's what this offensive line needs, is guys who can run and get on guys and sustain blocks.
And the fact that, 4 of the 5 starters return, what does that continuity do for that unit to take that next step?
I mean, it's everything. When you can have guys who are playing together through big games like last year, the year before that, I mean, Jake and Trent and I have played, I think 3 years in a row now, going on 4. Obviously, Trent and Jake have played even longer together, and then now with Dom and I being, going into, year 3, playing next to each other. So just having that continuity and knowing what we're going to do when it comes to games or twists or just whatever comes up in a game, we're pretty adaptable, and we know how to work well with each other. And then having a guy who can come in as the left guard, obviously the spots everyone watching. So if you can get a guy that can come in and fit into that role pretty well, then that's going to be even better for our group. But, we're looking to be a top 10 unit like we have in the past, top 15, whatever that is. But, we've got a good group up front.
You go through a year like you guys went through last year, the transition that you were talking about, and then the injuries that you dealt with, and you still win 12 games and a playoff game. What does it say about that group last year, but also the future for what you guys are trying to do moving forward?
It says that this group's ready to win. That's what it does. We didn't know last year what this team was going to do. There wasn't a whole lot of, playoff talks, Super Bowl talks, whatever it was. It was just, are you going to get better each week and win each week? So when that eventually that was the reward for that 12-win season. It feels great. I think we're ahead of the curve, whatever that means in a rebuild or however you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. There's two teams in our division. Obviously, Arizona is still going to be tough, but there's two who are at the top as well that right along with us. So are we ahead of it? I don't know. We'll see, when we play in Melbourne, Australia. But it's a good feeling going into the next 40 days after this next week. So, I think we're at a good starting point for this team.
Great question and answer.
You, obviously, I assume, can afford groceries and everything after your contract extension, so you're doing okay on that front.
Yeah.
But when you see like offensive linemen and how they get paid when they do reach free agency, obviously, you didn't know how the season was going to play out before you signed that last year. But was there any sort of like, oh man, it would have been nice to hit the open market, or any like regrets?
No, not one. My goal never was to be the highest paid. That wasn't my obviously money, you're in the NFL, like money's the main thing. Like, we all want to get paid, we want to have generational wealth. I want to have my grandkids have money too, but with the contract I was offered, and honestly, I don't want to leave here. Like, obviously being cut, I got some scars there, but like to be able to be cut, be a draft pick here, gold helmet guy, whatever that means. But like, there was a reason why I was here, drafted here, why I was cut here, why I still played here, and then now I've had 3 good seasons of starting and then going into the 4th. So like, why would I, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I saw a lot of guys not get paid in free agency this year. So there's a demand, whatever, but I like it here. I want to be on that 10-year wall. So there's a lot more besides the money that a contract gives you that's available in this town, in this city. That's more important to me than a dollar amount. So the connections I make off the field in San Francisco and what I'm doing with my youth stuff in the city and in Idaho as well, there's no reason for me to risk or just taking a chance to go somewhere else.
My man throwing shots at Jawan Jennings. Oh, I might get saucy with him. I saw guys leave and not get paid this offseason, right? Like, let's go, man. Talk your shit. Of course I wanted to get paid, but I don't want to leave here. I got the gold helmet, whatever that means. They still cut me twice. Had to come back, but here I am 3 years in a row starting. Huh? Of course I want money, but I want, come on, man. I want some consistency. Come on, man. I like that. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to be here. I want to be here. Man, Colt McKivitz, man. Come on, man. Become Mike's favorite lineman. Come on, man. Let's go, bro. Put your name in the ring. Let's go. I like it. I like that talk, man. Talk spicy to him.
Have you talked to Scrivener about on that question? Drake Greenlaw kind of said the same thing. Going away from here, it's just different being away and then being able to come back. You're just more grateful to be here in this building, in this room with this team. If you could go into detail, what are those things? What is the difference from being away from here to then being here?
I think there's a sense of family. When you come here, like a lot of guys that do, like Dre, there's a reason why he was drawn back here. Like, when you have a core group of players who understand a winning culture, I talk to Charlie Warner all the time too. He's my best man at my wedding, and like even he still talks about it. Like, when you have a core group of players who understand the standard of what this franchise was built on and what the standard is, and that's a 6 Super Bowl, and you don't win it, and it's the goal every year, obviously, and you want to uphold that standard, and everyone knows that winning is the ultimate goal here. And you have that buy-in from veteran players and a front office and then a coaching staff as well, and the whole goal is winning. It's hard for guys to turn that away. Like, when they do go away and it's not the same, that's what makes this place special. And why I never want to leave, and I'm sure why Drake came back.
Gold helmet and whatever that is. Have you talked to Stribling to get more insight into what a gold helmet actually is?
No, I think it just has to do with high character guy, plays the right way, plays physical, a leader. I'm sure that's when it comes down to their scout. scouting in college, and there's a certain amount that they give out. I didn't know at the time, and then obviously now I get to understand what it is, and I think I've fit that role pretty well now.
You mentioned the left guard battle. What do you see, early impressions of the guys at that spot?
I think Connor Colby's come a long way. I think you never know how your rookie season's going to go. It can be really good or really bad, and you learn a lot. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants, and you don't really have a whole lot of technique. You're just thrown in, and it's a whirlwind. So to see him play a lot faster right now, obviously it's OTAs. We're not hitting. We'll obviously see in July, but to see him kind of come out of his rookie season and take a breath and then now come in a little more rejuvenated, understands the scheme a little more, to see him come out and play faster, it's good to see. He's a great guy. And then obviously you're going to have Rob Jones, another explosive guy coming out of Miami. So it's going to be a fun battle in July for that spot. But I think we've got some guys who can fill in that role.
One, Jen. I think it's hard for us outside the building to understand. You think that every franchise would want a winning culture and to want to win. So explain how this building, I know you've only been here, but I know you've got guys in your room that have gone off to other organizations without throwing anyone under the bus. Explain to us how this organization does that.
Well, since it's buffering, let me go ahead and just say that he let the cat out the bag again. No. Don't talk now. No, sir. I'm going to get to this Robert Jones comment you just made that nobody else is discussing. I didn't see it online today. I didn't see it anywhere. Talked about Connor Colby, right? Going in there at that left guard position. Did you guys hear what he said about Rob Jones? Were you paying attention? Oh, no, we're going to run this back. We're going to rewind this one. Oh, I like this answer. That's who the guy is they're looking at. The guy from Miami. Robert Jones was the starting guard for all 17 games last year for the Miami Dolphins. Ding, ding. I got to get my bell. Everyone's like, Colby is going to be the rookie. You got Mike saying maybe we should move Purdy back over to the left side. Did y'all hear what he said about Mr. Jones? Oh, boy. If you didn't, I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it. I like this. Oh, he's good. Bring Colton back.
Understands the scheme a little more. To see him come out and play faster, it's good to see. He's
good for
a great
Colby.
Guy. And then obviously you're going to have Rob Jones, another explosive guy coming out of Miami. So it's going to be a fun battle in July for that spot. But I think
the system.
we've got some guys who can fill in that role.
It's hard for us outside the building to understand. You think that every franchise would want a winning culture and to want to win. So explain how this building, I know you've only been here, but I know you've got guys in your room that have gone off to other organizations without throwing anyone under the bus. Explain to us how this organization does that.
I'll reiterate. Let me ask the question the way she wanted to. You specifically mentioned Rob Jones, who just came from Miami, and it was clear that nobody in Miami cared about winning. They all wanted paychecks. They all wanted opportunities to just shine. They didn't care about winning. And that's why that team fell apart as quickly as it did. So what did Rob tell you about the difference in the cultures in the buildings? Has he felt the difference? Is it too early to see what Rob Jones thinks? Tell us about that.
There's not a lot of fluff. I think, having not been anywhere, it's all hypothetical, right? So there could be, a lot of just distractions in buildings, whether that's money or ticket sales or I don't know. I'm not an owner. I don't know. So the way I see it is that, and what I've heard from other, players that come here is that there isn't a sole focus on winning. And you kind of know going into a season if it's going to be good or bad, just based on your team, who you have, what it feels like in the building. But guys are drawn to this place. And it is that feeling of winning. It is that feeling of, there's a sole goal in mind in this building. And it starts from the top down. And obviously when you have leaders like we do that that goal is reciprocated, and that's why guys flock here.
All right, thanks, Holman. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Man, let's go, man. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man. Round of applause for everybody that went to the podium. I like that, man. Good to hear from Christian McCaffrey. Great to hear from Kyle, as always. Love hearing from Colton McKivitz, Dre Greenlaw. Those are the guys that really set this thing over the top for me. And, of course, you like hearing from just all of them. All of them are really good, man. It was a lot of fun. I really, really liked what I just saw. The 49ers, man, they did just a phenomenal job of who to send to the podium. Right? They did a great job of just who to send up there and what they were going to discuss. You got Dre Greenlaw out there, man. Everybody wanted to hear from him. Colton McKivitz, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan. Man, oh man, was it a lot of fun. I liked it. And we deserve to hear from Nick Bosa. So, guys, more pressure breakdowns coming. I got to get up out of here, man. I've talked to you guys until today, which is the next day on the East Coast. All right? So I got to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this was a long one, 3.5 hours. Whew. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so I felt like I had to bring you guys something a little special, something a little longer. All right? Watch it in pieces. Break it up. Give you guys on the road, a lot of truck drivers and all are watching long-form content. There you go, baby. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, man. All right? Tell somebody about us. Tell them to come over and subscribe. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for who's out there, man. I saw you joining at the end there. All right? I appreciate you chiming in. All right? Always good in my book, baby. Always good in my book. You guys know what to do, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know exactly where you're going live. Subscribe to the Patreon. All that good stuff, man. All that good stuff, man. Let's go home, man. All right? I got nothing else for you guys. I'll be back very, very soon. Niner Faithful asking more players speaking tomorrow. When they speak, I'll be back to break it down, man. I'll be back to break it down. All right? I got to get out of here right now, though. I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon, man. Y'all be safe. Have a wonderful evening for those of you guys still on the West Coast. And I hope you guys all have a good day today for those of you who are up on the East Coast. All right? I'm out of here. Prepare for glory. Anticipate pain. But always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you look in the